From Madison Stadium on the campus of California University of Pennsylvania, it's Cal Vulcan Football 2010. Today, the Vulcans take on the Wolves of Cheyney. Hello again, everybody. Welcome to Cal Vulcan Football. I'm Stan Savran, along with Paul Alexander and Craig Wolfley. The Vulcans close out the regular season today, awaiting word on a possible playoff bid. Last week, Paul, we say the defense wins championships. It certainly won a game last week at Edinburgh.
There's no question about that, Stan, and the offense was very sluggish. In fact, only scoring 3 points in that first half. But the defense was not going to allow that to be a problem. When you pitch a shutout, well, there's no way you're going to lose the game, and you're just hoping as a defensive player that if you continue to do your job, the offense will respond. Brett Diamond and company did their job perfectly when you don't allow points. Well, you simply can't play any better than that. And this Cal U defense certainly peaking at the right time. And Wolf coming off that second half, it looks like the offense certainly figured out something as well.
There's no question, Paul. Hey, you've got 3 points in the first half, so what do you say? John Lockhart says, dial me up some offense, and that's just what Josh Portis did. He goes long 3 times, 3 touchdown passes. The explosive nature of this offense at times can be breathtaking. They showed it last week in the second half.
And they're getting healthy now. The numbers won't add up for Cheyney, but they don't play the game on a stat sheet. They play it on grass or artificial turf, as the case may be. Cheyney with just 1 win in the last 3 years. It is a mid-September day in mid-November. We're back with the opening kickoff in just a moment. California University of Pennsylvania football is brought to you by A.K. Nahas, by Albert's Meats, AT&T, Mannheim Corporation, Blue Mountain Equipment Rental, MI Friday, the Pittsburgh Bottle Shop Cafe, and by California University of Pennsylvania. Cal will receive to start today's game. This is Senior Day here at Cal. 21 seniors playing their final home game. I should say final home regular season game. And this group in 4 or 5 years has compiled a record of 45-8. It really has been a remarkable stretch.
Absolutely. A win today is 4 straight seasons with double-digit victories. That's never happened before. And at the end of this game, should they win, certainly another national opportunity to play in the postseason. That's never happened 4 consecutive years at Cal U. So John Lockhart and crew and players, a lot to be proud of, a lot to play for right here today. They have to take care of business early. They need to make a statement, set a tone, and take care of business.
Michael Evans kicks off to the short man at the 25-yard line. Tackle broken across the 40 and out to the 44-yard line, where Cal will start out 1st and 10 with outstanding field position. So a short kick, kicking away from Chedrick Cherry. Cody Wilson, backup fullback, returned it. Josh Portis is the starting quarterback for Cal. He can set records today, depending on how many touchdown passes he throws. He's completing 62% of his passes. What a remarkable ratio, Paul.
Wow.
25 touchdown passes, only 6 interceptions.
This offense got off to a slow start last week against Edinburgh, but certainly heated up in that second half. Portis with 3 touchdown passes in that second half.
Wilson, the fullback. Lamont Smith, the tailback, in the eye behind Josh Portis. Smith breaks 1 tackle in the clear into Cheyney territory at the 45-yard line. So right off the bat, it's a 1st down run. Let's check the Cal starting lineup. We've already met Lamont Smith, Josh Portis, Cody Wilson, the starting fullback, Ched Cherry, leading receiver. Blake Williamson coming on lately as the tight end, and Terrence Moore, the other wide receiver. Keep an eye out for number 80, Mike Williams. And State Farm Insurance bringing you the offensive line. Eric Cush back at left tackle. He has meant a huge deal to solidify the offensive line. Ford is calling it audible. Cheyney plays a variation of a 3-4 defense, but with a 5th linebacker. Looking, throwing deep, overthrown, incomplete, looking for Cherry inside the 5-yard line. He had him, Paul, just a little bit too long.
That's a matter of inches. The crime would be to underthrow, and Cherry can fly, and that was right on the fingertips. Nice throw, Obviously a nice checkoff right there at the line of scrimmage by Josh Portis. He saw something he liked, and no wonder he had a wide open receiver.
Carl Meeks, number 6, was deep on coverage. They play a 3-4 defense, but with a 5th linebacker as the place of an extra defensive back. 2nd down and 10. You'll see that play again. You said on that. Lamont Smith, Cody Wilson not able to get his block on the linebacker, Maurice Jones, and so the gain is very short, a couple to the 43-yard line, which will bring up a 3rd down and 8.
That's just what good linebackers do. You know, they shed that block and make a play, and that's what happened right there. But more often than not, Lamont's going to make that guy miss.
Well, he had you got from parts unknown, big old Jack Range falling on the ground there, and poor Lamont, that's a big range to get over,
Lamont's only about 5'8". That's a big hurdle. 3rd down and long from the 43. In the flat to Smith, got the 1st down inside the 35 and down to the 32-yard line. So a nice read by Josh Portis, the checkoff to Lamont Smith. He makes the reception and a 1st down for Cal. Keep in mind, this Cheyney defense in the last 5 games has given up an average of 54 points. Average of 54 points over the last 5 games.
And I take it they haven't been scoring 55.
They've not. Not even 53.
What a mathematician you are, Paul.
Thanks, Paul.
8 in the box on 1st and 10. They'll run anyway. Smith cuts inside to the 25, the 20, still on his feet and down to the 15-yard line. What a strong run, 17 yards for Lamont Smith, and that gives Cal its 3rd successive 1st down at the 15.
And Wolf, I'm going to have to defer to you. With 8 in the box, how do you get that kind of hole?
Well, you get that kind of hole when you have the type of offensive line that Cal has got together here. You got some guys, that have played together a long time, that interior 3. And with the addition of Eric Cush back from that shoulder injury, this is a formidable offensive line.
Smith again, following the right side of his offensive line. Doesn't look like much, but it's a gain of a bit more than 3.5. It'll be 2nd down and a long 6. And let's talk about the offensive line. Nick Picciarello starting his 50th consecutive game at that position.
Where's he from?
He would happen to be from Mayfield Heights. He and Sam Fakaris, both seniors, playing their final regular season home game today. And both sets of parents asked me to come out and tailgate with him, since I'm a hometown boy.
There was a photo op, Wolf. You missed it.
The photo op.
Stan and his guys.
Oh, he's a lightweight at the tailgates. I know Stanley.
I didn't eat anything. I just stood there and had my Gap 2 smile, doing my David Letterman impression.
Well, on the other hand, I was treated to the legendary pumpkin gobs by Mrs. Fakaris of the Fakaris fame of Sam Fakaris, the defensive tackle starting for Cal U. And I must say, I ate 3 of those bad boys. I'm more sugared up than a 10-year-old at a sleepover.
So if I were you, I would back up your chair a little bit from the television screen, because Wolf on a starvation diet is pretty amped up. Trey Johnson comes into the ball game on a 3rd down and 6. For the slant pattern touchdown. That thing was wide open. Chedrick Cherry with the reception. His 9th touchdown catch of the year. Josh Portis is 26. That was almost too easy. Beat the corner off the line. Didn't get the jam. All he had to do is get the ball in there.
Now, did the corner think he had safety help or just completely fall asleep at the wheel?
No, I think the corner was hoping he had safety help. He whiffed on the jam, and right there you can see where he lit him up right in between the closing safety and the corner.
Not a whole lot of time for a safety to come up on a 10-yard slant. The extra point is good. Mark DeMoncas now 41 of 42 this season, and the Vulcans take the opening kickoff and drive for a touchdown relatively easily, a 55-yard drive. All right, the scoring drive for the Vulcans, brought to you by Morgan Coach. 8 plays, they call it 57 yards, 11-yard touchdown reception from Josh Portis to Ched Cherry. And just like that, the Vulcans on the board at 7-0.
Now, that was an impressive drive. You know, one of the things I've been watching about Portis is the fact that he's really become the complete quarterback. When we first saw Portis a year or so ago, you're looking at a guy of great talent, great athlete, fast feet, wonderful arm. Now we see the little details of quarterback, and they are starting to emerge, and he is a real leader and a real force on this Cal U team.
The Monkas to kick off, John Newman and Marcus Jones back deep. This is Jones at his 17. Short kick, got a seam, gets to the 30-yard line. Jones, generally the starting running back, as the Wolves of Cheyney get their first touch of the football. Something to keep an eye on here. We'll try to do is we've got a Cheyney player down, hurt on the kickoff. And here is the Vulcans defensive line and starting defense, brought to you by State Farm Insurance. Thomas Malaba back healthy, starting against Sam Fakaris. He, the last month, has been just a dynamo defensively. Here are a look at the 2 linebackers and 5 defensive backs. Anthony Roberts, talking about coming on, Paul. Brett Diamond has just been absolutely brilliant the last month. And the 5 members of the secondary, and Rontez Miles had a huge game, as did Eric Harris against Edinburgh.
And Rontez Miles, he hit the ground running when he got here from Woodland Hills to Cal. And, you know, was the freshman of the year defensively last year, and now has just picked it up and even done more this year. When he's healthy, he is just absolutely unbelievable.
By the way, the injured player is defensive lineman Akintunde Omasanmi. And it's a left leg and knee. All right, here's the offense for the Cheyney Wolves. Chris Anderson is the quarterback. There are the running backs, Jones and Newman. Sometimes single back, sometimes the lineup in a fullback. What they do run, however, is a triple option. This is not a wishbone, but it is a triple option, a veer option team. Chris Anderson has gained nearly as many yards rushing as he has passing. Keep an eye on Marcus Jones, though, who's a freshman from Washington, D.C. He averages 99 yards per game. So they have been effective in that regard. They don't throw often, averaging only 13 passes per game.
Stand, strap it in. This is not an easy job for the play-by-play guy.
You know he gonna play.
Now you tell me. Pitch wide to Jones. Well, Cal's there, and a hard hit. Rontez Miles brought him down. Rontez, the sophomore from Woodland Hills, one of the strongest hitters on the Vulcan team. Give him a gain of 2. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
He's just one of those defensive players, Wolf, that's really fun to watch. I mean, he has reckless abandon, which you want.
He does. He explodes, and I'm telling you what, the Jones just got a face full of Adamson turf there. Man, oh man, that was a violent hit.
Sunday,
Anderson keeps, and he is hit behind the line of scrimmage and brought down. Call it no gain to bring up 3rd down and long. And Anderson, again, he only completes 45% of his passes, 7 touchdowns, but 6 interceptions.
Brett Diamond just all over that. And what you have to do is be sound fundamentally, right, Wolf? You got to know your keys, tackle the man that you're supposed to, and everything takes care of itself, but it's easier said than done.
Exactly so, Paul. It's trying to play a little 3-card monte, a little shell game here. Who's got the ball? Nobody was fooled on that play, especially Brett Diamond.
The problem that you have preparing is that you don't see this all year long.
No question about it. Familiarity is one of the keys to be able to take on this offense.
Whistle. And I believe that the play clock ran out.
They got a
No, they called
timeout
the
just
timeout
before, yeah.
Okay.
But that was the issue. That play clock was all the way down to 1.
So Cheyney has to take a timeout.
That was very fortuitous timeout because there was.
They were coming.
The other key, not just familiarity, but overwhelming force really goes a long way towards stopping the offense, too.
Well,
you
obviously,
get that kind of penetration, you can blow anything up.
Oh, yeah.
and obviously you would like to put Cheyney in this kind of circumstance. They don't want to throw the ball. They don't like to throw the ball. But if you can stop on 1st and 2nd down, all of a sudden you've taken away, A, their best weapon, and B, you've made them one-dimensional.
No question about it, Stan. You know, the thing is for Lucky, you're coming into what you hope for. You got a playoff run, and this is a team that has an opportunity to ring the bell in a national championship. They are that deep, that qualified to do something like this. You know, now the fact is, whether they do or not, it's a situation where, you know, you got to go through the whole situation, the whole deal, getting deep into the playoffs. So that means you want to get through this game without losing anybody. And that's the key. And you got to tell your boys, play hard, get the game over, let's get out healthy.
Newman in motion. Anderson on the roll. He's met in the backfield, almost intercepted. He threw it on the run, and he had to float one out in the flat. Always dangerous when you do that. The pass is incomplete. It was almost 6 the other way, and it brings up 4th down, and Cheyney will be forced to punt on their first possession.
Eric Harris licking his chops. He knew the play was coming, where it was coming. And one thing, when you roll out, you basically eliminate 2/3 of the field. And Eric Harris had the 1/3 that he was going to throw to covered very well. He was thinking 6 the other way.
Well, Mike Conway came up with an A-gap blitz on the inside, and also outloaded Cheyney to the left side. So there's a lot of pressure coming from the backside, too. He had to unload that ball.
Brandon Buchanan will punt. He's averaging only 20 yards per punt.
They got it.
That's going to go way underneath that. That may be a negative punt. And it's picked up by Tommy Campbell. And he's got an escort into the end zone. Tommy Campbell, touchdown, Cal.
We got a flag. I think Rontez Miles.
Yes, indeed, Paul. Good eyes.
Got caught with a little block in the back there. But what a heads-up play by Tommy Campbell. The punt was blocked, but it was still a live ball.
Yes.
So Tommy Campbell alertly picks it up and goes. But I think Rontez got caught with his hands in the cookie jar.
Fellas, I do believe, and I'm not sure, I don't think it was a block. I think the punter panicked. There was such penetration. The heat was coming on. He had a bad toss. It looked like the ball rotated almost to a point down, and he was trying to get the ball off in the face of intense pressure. And when he did that, he caught it on the high drop.
On the return on California, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down.
And what happened?
There it is right there.
Let me just finish, Stan, if I can. The punt went straight up in the air. The punter was standing there, and the look of frustration, and almost he was signaling with his arm like, you know, hey, this isn't my fault. I didn't mean to do that.
Wolf, you're absolutely right. The punt was not blocked. He kicked it straight in the air because there was so much pressure.
Well, that's a first for me, fellas. I've never seen that before.
I saw Terry Bradshaw do that once in the exhibition game in Dallas. Bobby Walden got hurt, and they had Bradshaw at a punt. He was always bragging about what a good punter he was. He kicked one almost over his own head. Pass the flat to Cherry, hard hit, but he's got the first down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. 1st and 10, the call made on Rontez Miles on the punt return by Tommy Campbell. Down from the side, dubious, but nevertheless, it's a 1st and goal for Cal at the Cheyney 9-yard line. And remember, the punter was only averaging 20 yards per punt to begin with under the best of circumstances.
That's not going to help the average.
No.
Again, the mathematician you are, Paul.
Thanks, Walter.
1st and goal from the 9. Cal looking to take advantage of what I consider to be a turnover, a block punt. Lamont Smith. Not much doing there. Maybe a yard to the 8. 2nd and goal.
The key for Cal U right now is not to let the intensity factor start to lessen. I mean, here's the thing. You know you're facing a team that's 1-9. It's a team that has got problems. For you, the challenge is to dial up the intensity factor in your noggin so that you're ready to go. You can't let the record of the other team kind of diminish what you want to do. You want to come out here and just rip, snort, and let yourself have at it. Have a good day.
Cherry and Moore in a slot left. R.J. Thomas, the fullback. Lamont Smith driving inside the 5 down to the 2-yard line, where it'll bring up a 3rd down and goal. I think it's a great point you make, Wolf, because sometimes, and you've seen this in the past, it's so easy early, teams back off, and then all of a sudden, you give a team a chance to get back in the game. I'm not suggesting that would be the case today, but I remember the national championship game with Ohio State and Florida. Ted Ginn returned the opening kickoff, and I think Ohio State thought this is going to be easy.
And I think there's a stat out there that'll support when you return the opening kick for a touchdown, more often than not, you come up on the short end of the game. It's a very strange deal. if you just subconsciously let down. And another thing, Wolf, if this Cal U team keeps up the intensity, all of a sudden, Cheyney just has no idea why they're here.
Yeah,
and you kind of take the life right out of them.
You got it exactly. You want to snatch your fighting spirit from them. And by doing so, you make it easier on yourself, and you invigorate your own spirit. You get into that mentality, hey, let's go. And then you as an offensive line especially, you want to pound this in. You want to be the sled dogs pulling the sled.
3rd and goal. Let's watch Smith following R.J. Thomas to the left. It's Portis on the roll. End zone, overthrown, and incomplete from the 2-yard line. And that'll bring up a 4th down, and Cal will send out the field goal unit.
Yeah, that throw and where the receiver was didn't really jive. I'm not sure exactly what the intended route was or what Josh thought the intended route was, but that was a quarterback and a receiver not on the same page.
All right, DeMarcus will attempt the extra point. 10 out of 14 field goal attempts this year. Looking to make it 10-0. Kick is up, and it is good. So he does convert. Cal converts on the block punt. Touchdown called back because of a block in the back. Cal gets 3 out of it. 7:05 to play in the first quarter. Cal 10, Cheyney nothing. Welcome the newest concept to the Atrius family, Juniper Grill. Juniper Grill offers a delicious fusion of American and Southwest entrees. Stop in and enjoy our slow-roasted boneless short ribs, pork tatas, or our slow-smoked, all-natural Angus beef brisket. Designed from the basic elements, Juniper Grill is surrounded by wood, fire, and stone. With 3 high-definition TVs, Juniper Grill's bar is the perfect place to view all of your favorite sporting events. Visit them online at www.junipergrill.com or call 724-260-7999.
Well, I'm not geographically biased in my eating habits. I'll go southwest, northeast, whatever you want.
With you, they shouldn't even have to make you go anywhere. They should deliver it to you. John Newman returning the kickoff. Tries to gain the outside and does to a degree, getting to the 30-yard line, where Cheyney will take over 1st and 10, trailing 10-0. On their first possession, they went 3 and out, had a punt block, which Cal converted into a field goal. And, you know, Wolf made the point about you want to get out of this thing injury-free, as you would in any game. But I also think, Craig, that John Luckhart really wants them to play well, because they've played well the last couple of weeks and wants to build some momentum going into the playoffs.
No question, Stan. You want to sustain that intensity. You want to sustain that flow that you've got. You want to do more than just get in and get out. You're right. You want to play well.
Anderson keeps after a play fake to Newman. Gets nearly 5 yards on 1st down. It'll be 2nd down and 5.
Pretty good stick. Take a listen. Some pads popping there.
Well, yeah, that's what the game is all about, isn't it not, gentlemen? Huh?
It most certainly is.
I thought it was about eating after the game, but you say so.
Okay, so the game does come secondary to the tailgate.
That was Anthony Roberts, a senior from Phillipsburg, New Jersey, number 51, who made the stop for Cal. 2nd down and 5. Now the inside handoff this time to Marcus Moore. Cal all over that. Sam Fakaris, first man to hit him. Sam, hold off, Paul. Sam, a senior from
Mayfield Heights, Ohio.
There you go.
And what does that have to do with the price of tea, huh?
It got me invited to a tailgate earlier, I'll tell you that much.
Because you are from where?
I am from Mayfield Heights, Ohio.
All right. See, I have to connect the dots for myself, much less anybody else, okay?
Cal, one of the keys to playing great defense and one of the keys to playing good offense is converting on 3rd downs, and you see that Cal has been exceptional at that.
Have another one right here.
Fake pitch. There's the bubble screen out in the flat. It's complete. Fumble. And the ball is loose. He was short of the 1st down. Let's let him unpile. And it looks like Cheyney recovered the fumble. And talk about fortuitous.
Yeah.
That would have been 4th and 1. As it is, the fumble forward gives Cheyney a 1st down.
Nice cut by the receiver. and then a big hit on the ball. Fortunately for Cheyney, the ball is fumbled forward.
That is Prince Stewart, number 18. That's his 15th catch of the year, and he is their leading receiver.
And he ended up with the ball somehow. He actually recovered that as well.
Well, that's an act of desperation at that moment.
Either that or they worked on that play all week in practice.
Pretty slick the way he got it off his own knee to kick it forward.
Boy, Sam Fakaris is having his way with Corey Farrell, the starting center for Cheyney, in the backfield, and he stops Marcus Jones for no gain, 2nd and 10.
What makes Sam Fakaris so tough to block, he's a former wrestler. He's got great balance. You know, down there you're playing in the trenches. You're trying to, fight against 2 or 3 guys at times. But it's your ability to explode, quickness, have that balance, great strength. He's got that freaky, goofy wrestler strength, does the Fakaris. And he shows it right there, blowing things up.
It's all about leverage down there, Wolf. And when you learn how to wrestle, you certainly know how to use your leverage.
Pass overthrown. Too tall by Anderson in the right flat. Going to bring up a 3rd down and 10.
You can tell they're not real comfortable throwing the football. It's not what they do. They like to run it, and when they're forced into 3rd and long like they are right here, it's a difficult situation for them. If they're not getting wins on 1st and 2nd down, they're in a little bit of trouble.
And if you're the quarterback, every time you drop back to pass, you're getting a face full of one of Mike Conway's blitzes dialed up.
Well, they're going to have to throw it. As I mentioned, they only throw on average of 13 passes a game and complete less than 50%. Great drop back. Look out. What a jailbreak that was. Kevin Crawford, the junior from Brooklyn, New York, led the charge, and Anderson was lucky to get that thing off. There's a flag down, roughing the... No, the roughing is signaled.
Grounding.
Oh, did he call grounding?
I believe so.
Yeah, you had Kevin Crawford and Rontez Miles free on a jailbreak, and Anderson threw that ball away as much out of self-defense as anything else.
Intentional grounding, number 12 on the offense. Loss of down, 4th down.
The referee, by the way, is Steve Dobus, and he is refereeing his final game. He's retiring after today. Also, back judge Jack Zillis officiating today's game. He, too, will retire at the end of today's game. Those guys do such a terrific job, and everybody always says that. But, they're out here and working these games, giving up Saturdays. Yeah, they get paid, but, you're not retiring on that.
They love what they do. I've been around a lot of officials.
Yeah.
They take great pride in what they do, and they love what they do. And isn't it cool that in the NFL now, there's an inordinate amount of officials from Western Pennsylvania?
The Miami Dolphins aren't too thrilled about that, but
Gene's territory from down in these parts.
Brandon Buchanan, who had kind of a negative punt the first time, was hoping for a bounce, but Trey Johnson picks it up on the roll.
What a move.
Dekes one man and gets across the 50 and into Cheyney territory at the 47-yard line.
We
so
did get a late
another
flag.
short punch. We've got a flag on
late.
the play.
Well, these guys, being their last games as officials, I hope they don't think they have to throw a flag on every play.
Yeah, you don't want to get it. You don't want to get all your yayas out with the flags on your last day.
We don't want to have any of that.
The penalty will cost Cal field possession, but not possession of the football. Let's see what the call is from Steve Dobus.
Illegal block in the back, number 84 on the return team, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. 1st down. TV timeout.
All right, so Tony Battolini is caught with the block in the back. Cal still in good field position at their own 41, leading 10-0 with 4 to play in the first quarter. Pretty good shape at their own 41-yard line, having scored on their 2 possessions, opening drive of 57 yards, blocking a punt, and then kicking a field goal after not getting into the end zone on a 3rd and goal from the 2-yard line. They start out at the 41.
118. 118.
Whoop. Jack Range jumped, and so that'll make it a first down and 15.
You hate as an offensive lineman to have one of those Homer Simpson moments like that. You know, you get down there and you're ready to tear off the ball, and all of a sudden, don't, you know, you just realize you're a count ahead of everybody else.
False start, number 78, offense, 5 yards, first down.
Had time to point out Jack Range, but I didn't do it. Jack is a senior from Ottawa, Ontario.
If he jumps, everybody knows.
Yeah, he's 6'8". He can
hide that.
Trey Johnson is the tailback instead of Lamont Smith. Cody Wilson, the fullback, on 1st and 15. This is Trey Johnson. Nice cut. 45, 50, 45, and knocked out of bounds inside the 45 at the 43-yard line. What a tremendous cut he made once he crossed the line of scrimmage. Stan Banks, free safety, finally knocked him out of bounds.
Boy, he did a lot of this on his own. Granted, the first 5 yards provided by the O-line, Wolf, but man, this guy has some shape.
How about it? He's like a water bug just going across the water, right? I mean, look at him. He's built low to the ground, and he got a nice cut, and man, he hit it with some good speed.
You know, any back worth his salt can make a move in the open field. It's the back that can make the cut 2-3 yards past the line of scrimmage. That's the kind of back you're looking for. He makes a difference. Portis wide open on the sideline, complete. The Cherry near a first down. Portis knocked down after the play.
Again, you know, this is what I like about watching Josh Portis. You know, before in the past, he's got such a gun, he's just going to let her rip wherever he feels like. Now he searches the field. He looks where he can get the single man coverage, and then he goes to that man. That's all part of the process of becoming a big-time quarterback. That's one of the things that you want. You want to develop not just the arm skill, just the leg. You want the complete package as a quarterback.
Gain was 8, 2nd and 2. Johnson has the first down and more. Drives forward. You like that in the back, too. Always falling forward. He gets to the 29, where it'll be 1st and 10, Cal. And a very important game for Cal. Mercyhurst blowing out Bloomsburg 42-17. Mercyhurst on to win that game will win the PSAC championship. They've already sharing the Western Division championship with Cal, but they'll win the league outright with that win today and sets them up in good position for the playoffs. They needed that win because they've already lost 2 games, but they did beat Cal. Wide open touchdown, Terrence Moore. Wide open. He beat Brandon Buchanan. Terrence Moore, his 7th touchdown catch of the year, the senior from Key West, Florida. And Josh Portis, 2 touchdown passes on the day. It's 16-0.
Yeah, just can't throw it any better. Right on the money. Nice route. Skinny post, Wolf.
There you go. One of the things they'll never say about me in using the word skinny, but it was indeed. And again, Portis, he finds the single coverage. Safety rolled up on the other side. Great throw.
DeMonca's is true with the extra point, and just like that, Cal with 3 possessions, 3 scores, 2 touchdowns, and a field goal. And with 2:25 to play, Cal now up 17-0. Let's watch the touchdown catch again.
Just a perfect throw. Plenty of time to deliver it. That's just the way you draw it up.
Oh, it is. Nah, that's just picture perfect. And you as an offensive line, that's what you like. You got that nice bowl shape right there. You got the protection. You got your Picarellas, you got your Jordans, your Devin Cox, you got big old Jack Range, and you got air cushion. You're a 5-some across the board. You're picking it up, and you're laying wood to those guys. And you take great pride in the fact that when Portis delivered the ball, he's standing straight up and down.
That drive actually will be 64 yards because you remember on first down, Jack Range was guilty of a false start. The original line of scrimmage was the 41. It moved it back to the 36. In any event, it only took 4 plays to get there. 2 nice runs by Lamont Smith, and of course, the touchdown pass from Josh Portis to Terrence Moore.
Boy, you'd like to see more Terrence. Isn't that the truth, huh? That guy can flat out fly.
Whoever said less is more doesn't know Terrence.
Right.
Oh, that's very good.
They cause problems with their speed, both Cherry and Terrence Moore. and a guy who's really come on because of the injury to Derek Jones has been Mike Williams, number 80, who you'll see, I'm sure. And as Wolf pointed out, the Vulcans smacks that anvil for every point that's scored. I don't know if they have a
I'm not sure he's going to make it. He
guy.
just dropped the anvil on that last hit.
Do they have an understudy for the Vulcan like they do on Broadway?
You know, you wonder. I don't know if the mascot, he's just swinging away, right? He's not getting a lot of height. I'm noticing he's cutting the stroke a little bit. You know, he's being smart because, you know, he's got to save his juice. I don't think we've seen the last scoring.
Well, that's, you know, what's next now. Mascot cam.
Oh, yeah.
We'll evaluate him smacking that thing.
See, does he get the big overhead stroke or does he cut it and choke up on the handle?
Is he a 3/4 guy, straight overhead? High kick, Dominic Crowell with the return.
You guys now, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, let's see it.
Okay, here's the thing. If you're going to go, you want two hands. You start choked up. When you come overhead, you want to slide the hand down so you can get full power, right? So you can maximize the sound. Bang! But what I see with the mascot now, he started off with a good overhead swing, and he had the full, no choke on it, right? So now he's cutting it. Now he's going like, he's going sidearm a little bit. It's getting lower and lower, and by the end, he was barely tapping it. We got to work on the mascot.
It's only the first quarter. Now the inside handoff. Marcus Jones gets across the 30 to the 31-yard line. He'll pick up 4. Second down and 6.
Now, this is a tough time for a Cheyney team. I mean, you're sitting here in the last game of the year, and you know you're going to be homeward bound in a few hours. But, you know, these are the times that you as a player, you got to say, hey, you know what? It doesn't matter the score or whatever. I got to put whatever I got out there. I got to finish hard. And this will be a real test for the Cheyney team to see how they muster their mojo.
Steve Santia made that tackle. He's getting some work inside. Oh,
Fumble.
Big hit in the backfield and a fumble.
Return, let's go.
And it is recovered by Cheyney. Eric Harris made the big hit, popped the ball loose, but for the second time, Cheyney fumbling, they recovered their own fumble.
Hard to pitch it when you don't have it. And they had already stripped it from him when he was in the pitch motion.
That's got to be a very convoluted moment for you as a quarterback, attempting to pitch when you know you don't have the ball.
Yeah, that would not be good.
That would be difficult.
John Newman, the running back, recovered the fumble. We'll assume it was intended for him.
Bet you Chris Anderson pulled a Seinfeld, went over and said, hello, Newman.
Newman.
Here's Marcus Jones. Third down and long. Here, third down and 10. They still run the option, the veer option, triple option. It'll be fourth down and another punt coming.
Anytime you have a running play that cuts back, goes 2-3 yards, and you wind up with everybody standing up, it's not a play run with a lot of high velocity.
Brett Diamond, the junior from Chesterfield, Virginia, made the tackle. Once again, Brandon Buchanan will be punting. Trey Johnson standing inside his own 40. Time running down in the first quarter. Rather eventful first quarter. Ron tells Miles, looks like he's coming. He is. Here they come again. Buchanan gets it away. A better punt. Johnson calls for the fair catch and takes it at the 44-yard line with just 2 seconds remaining in the first quarter. So it's been kind of an adventure for Cheyney here in the first quarter. They picked up 1 first down in the game, and that was on a pass completion where they fumbled the ball across the first down marker and got the first down that way.
Yeah, Prince Stewart actually made it look kind of slick. He caught it, fumbled it, and recovered it. But from where he caught it was short of the first down. Where he fumbled it and got it again was a first down. Not by design, though, I don't imagine.
Lamont Smith back in at tailback for Trey Johnson. R.J. Thomas, the fullback. He's got a slot right on 1st and 10. Smith, short yardage. 45 to the 47, a gain of 3, 2nd and 7, and that will signal the end of the first quarter.
That's the end of the first
It's all
quarter.
Cal in the first 15 minutes. The Vulcans 17, Cheyney nothing. Back with the second quarter right after this.
A community can have many assets, but its people are the most valuable assets. And at Centra Bank, we're partners in our community, and we're your neighbors. We belong to the same community organizations, we shop at the same stores, we live in the same neighborhoods as you do, and our kids go to the same schools.
California University of Pennsylvania football is brought to you by Clearview Federal Credit Union, Heater Direct, the Wheeling Nailers, JRMC Diagnostic Services, First Niagara Bank, DPS Penn, TA Nelson Bus Lines, and by Charleroi Federal Savings Bank.
And Wolf, you know I'm not a math guy, but I've kind of figured this out. If Cal scores every time they have it, and they don't allow Cheyney to score every time they have it, it's going to work out pretty well for Cal.
You know, I knew I liked you for a reason.
And so far, that's the way it's going.
Yes.
2nd and 7 as we begin the second quarter of play. Portis in trouble. He slings it sidearm to Lamont Smith, and he got away with it.
Well, there you go. He vulcanized his throwing motion right there.
Sort of.
I don't think they want to see that one again.
He almost got vulcanized, and I can hear the coaches yelling at R.J. Thomas. I don't know if that was his guy or whatever it was, but
If they're yelling your name, you pretty much know it was you.
that was Brian Payne, number 2. He's a senior from Chester, a defensive end who provided the rush. 3rd down and long. Portis looking, throwing, sideline, incomplete. Too tall for Chedrick Cherry, who was open on the play. Carl Meeks, number 6, senior from Washington, D.C., was there, but that was a first down in the making. Pass incomplete, then it's 4th down. And for the first time today, we will see Derek Fiorenza punting. Fiorenza averaging 40 yards per punt. He's really been punting well lately, bringing his average up.
He has more degrees than he does punts.
That's right. He's got like a double master's degree.
Yeah, how about that, Wolf?
Yeah, it kind of beats my certificate of attendance.
What'd you major in, Wolf? Home ec?
Staying eligible.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, you're going to get smart about my educational non-entities, huh?
I'd like to talk to Frank Maloney for a while.
Hey, I stayed alive, baby.
You're going to love this one, Wolf. Meat, great taste. It's more than a tagline. It's a promise that every time you choose Albert's Meats, you're going to meet great taste at your grill, in your kitchen, at the tailgate, wherever you go. Proudly served here at Adamson Stadium, Albert's Meats, a proud Washington County company.
Sam, Stan, do you ever get into that Albert's Meats at all? I know that you're on a good veg diet now, but you know, good healthy stuff. Did you ever have a little bit of that?
I did once upon a time.
I will tell you, it is a fine, fine meat. Let me tell you.
That's a good endorsement coming from Wolf. Newman, the returner, hit once, hit twice, spins away, gets to the sideline on his feet, and finally brought down just shy of the 30-yard line. That's a pretty good return by John Newman, as he was hit a couple times. Broke away. The tackle made by B.J. Stevens. All right, when we come back, it'll be Cheyney ball. They trail 17-0.
Moby Dick.
Searching for Moby Dick.
Atria's offers a unique combination of traditional entrees and quality features. Atria's creates all of their delicious entrees from scratch using only the freshest, highest quality ingredients. Think of Atria's for your holiday party. Their new private dining room can seat up to 60 guests with a private bar. Atria's gift cards make the perfect gift for any holiday. Stop in during November and receive a certificate for a bottle of wine and $20 in Atria's money when you purchase $100 in Atria's gift cards. Restrictions apply. Visit www.atrias.com or call Atrias in Peters Township at 724-942-1108 for details. 1st and 10, pitch wide, and Cal is just there waiting. Tommy Campbell
Miles.
and in the Rontez Miles first in, a whole host of greeters awaiting the attempted reverse by Cheyney.
Rontez Miles just did textbook. Turn the play in, shed the blocker, make the play. Did it all by himself. Turn the play in, shed the blocker, and make the play.
You know, that's exactly it, Paul. This is a perfect example of what, when you hear coaches say, set the edge. Set the edge so that you get contained, force it inside. Well, that's setting the edge, that's coming off, disengaging, and then planting the guy. That's the full Monty right there.
He did it all. The full Ronti.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Broken
Play quarterback draw. When the center snaps the ball, whether you're ready or not, the other 10, you've got to go. And that play will lose another yard to bring up a 3rd down and 12. I want to credit Carlos Tipton on that reverse play. He was there as well.
Well, this has got to be a scary moment here if you're Chris Anderson and Luckman Abdul has got a free run at you, all 325 pounds.
Right guard Brandon Reed, by the way, was still in his stance. When all that play went down, the man was still in his stance.
If we're going to get killed, can we at least all get killed together?
Oh, he didn't move.
Hey, that was rock solid discipline by that right guard. He didn't get drawn off sides.
3rd down and 12. Pitch wide to Ronell Wilson.
Good speed.
He got the corner, and he got the 1st down. And there's a flag. Ronell Wilson is a freshman from Waldorf, Pennsylvania. It is going against Cheyney, so that'll negate what would have been their second 1st down of the game. All right, block below the waist. That'll make a 3rd down and long, a 3rd down and even longer. They may be calling for a measurement here, Paul, to see if indeed he did step out of bounds before.
The penalty and they kick it away.
Punt, yep.
And I think he was out of bounds, short of the 1st down.
We got the punting team on. I know, Coach. I'm just saying is that I want to take the penalty.
Yeah, overhearing some of the coach's conversation, even though it would be 3rd down and about 22, as opposed to 4th down and 4. Coach Luckhart wanted to take the penalty to gain some field position, figuring that there's no way they're going to convert a 3rd and 22.
Right.
Now here you are, Brett Diamond, coming off the field. You just declined the penalty the head man wanted. You don't have a lot to say at that moment.
Although there's merit to Brett Diamond getting the ball back to your team.
True.
You never want a fluke play to burn you.
Here comes the punt block. Buchanan gets it away. Pretty good one. All things considered, Trey Johnson calls for the fair catch up near the Cal 40-yard line. Early in the 2nd quarter, Cal continues to lead Cheyney 17-0.
Contact your local State Farm agent.
A lot of people ask about Dan Patrick's success, but if you think about it, good hair, good pipes, a couple catchphrases, the whiff, and fuego, anybody could do that.
Like Lance Armstrong, that ball is gone.
Oh, man, did that really just happen? Eechi owie!
As pointy as an isosceles triangle.
Yep, it's that simple. Couple of catchphrases, nice haircut, you're good to go in this business.
night on the final score presented by Burger King. Kobe Bryant and the Lakers look to snap a 2-game skid as they travel to Milwaukee to take on Brandon Jennings and the Bucks. Plus, 2 top 10 teams clash in college basketball as number 4 Ohio State faces number 9 Florida in Gainesville. On the ice, 2 division leaders collide as Jeff Carter and the Flyers battle the Canadiens in Montreal. For all the day's highlights in 30 minutes, it's the final score.
Washington County Tourism invites you to play, shop, rediscover history, and of course, sleep here. Go to visitwashingtoncountypa.com to decide what are you going to do here. What Cal's going to do is take over 1st and 10 from their own 40, leading 17-0. Their last drive, they were forced to punt for the very first time. Go 1st and 10 from the 40-yard line, controlling the football game. Cheyney with only 1 first down. They've yet to get anywhere near Cal territory.
Friendly fire.
Pass to Moore. Gains 5 to the 45-yard line, where it'll be 2nd down and 5.
Now, do you give Trey Johnson credit for the tackle there?
An assist on the goal goes to Trey Johnson.
It's a little friendly fire.
Well, you know, sometimes that will happen on big jobs like this.
Makes you wonder if he was supposed to be in that area. He ran a route coming out of the backfield. He remains the tailback on 2nd and 5. Johnson avoids 1 tackle. Leaves his feet. That's always dangerous. Gains a yard or 2 up near the 47-yard line. Well, they teach you not to do that.
Well, that's where he's anticipating a low bridge tackle is what it's all about. And he leaps into the air, and suddenly there is no low fire, and he lands, and here come by the high route, and they just bang you.
Well, he avoided an experienced tackler. Thomas Stewart, number 15, is the leading tackler by a wide margin on this Cheyney team. Portis, 6 of 10, 74 yards, 2 touchdowns, facing a passing down on 3rd and 4. Portis looks, fires, he's got his man, and that's good for a first down at the 44-yard line. Ched Cherry makes the reception. 1st and 10 for the Vulcans.
That's just a great job of finding your receiver, moving the chains. Portis, like you've pointed out a couple times, Wolf, he just now looks all quarterback all the time.
He does, and you want to see that continual growth process, and part of that will be with good offensive line play like we saw from Eric Cush, returning at left tackle, and you saw in that last play, he knows how to punch, use his hands, and work the line at that tackle spot.
Chet Welk is in at tight end for Blake Williamson. 1st and 10 from the 45. Portis, straight drop, looking deep, throws it up, and it is incomplete. Jump ball down there near the 10-yard line. Too tall. Good coverage offered that time.
He allowed his, I'm sorry, Stan. He allowed his receiver to make a play. He gave him a chance to make a play, and Cherry simply did not go up and get it. If he would have checked down, even though he had his man, Mr. Johnson was left wide open in the flat. No one there.
No question, but I'd like my odds with Ched Cherry anytime on a ball like that.
He'll catch that, I'd say, 8 out of 10 times.
I'm sure offensive coordinator Walt Harris saw that too. Delayed drop. Good stick. Payne, Brian Payne, the defensive end, dropping back into a linebacker position. But it's still, nevertheless, a 6-yard gain for Johnson to bring up a 3rd down and makeable 3rd down and 4.
Some guys just have the proper names to play defense. Brian Payne would be one of those.
That's what you want to name him.
He brought the pain that time. That's a big hit.
He did. That was a good hit. But I also like Trey Johnson's nice acceleration. A nice job of seeing flash points. You know, you don't want to be there and jabbering your steps and so forth. You want to see that flash point, where the helmets are, where the crack's going to be, and then hit it at full speed.
Here's a good sign. Derek Jones, #1 in the ball game. He's been hurt the last number of weeks. Pass caught by Moore. The 30, 25, gets a block inside the 20 and out of bounds at the 15-yard line. Boy, what a nice route that was. Jones ran off the secondary, and here came Terrence Moore underneath. Thomas Stewart ran him out of bounds, but it's a big gain down to the 15-yard line.
And there you see the speed of Moore. Once he cut across the field, it was like everyone else was standing still.
Well, it was nice because what Walt Harris does, he sends a couple guys down the right side in almost parallel routes, clear out that area, and then you hit Moore coming across the middle. There's a whole lot of open range to run then.
Gray Johnson up the middle, hit and stumbles at the 7-yard line, but a good gain of 8. Second down and 2 from the 7.
Boy, what a different runner he is from Lamont Smith. Lamont Smith kind of patient, kind of, picks his holes, always going forward, and very effective at what he does. Trey Johnson is simply a speed merchant. This guy gets there in a hurry. Fullback Corey Wilson did a nice job creating that seam, and it doesn't take much for Johnson to get through. He just explodes through the hole.
I think the most difficult thing is for Cheyney to get a gander at where he is behind that big offensive line that Cal used.
Johnson.
Oh, my.
Spinorama. Won't help him, though. And Cheyney is calling that they recovered a fumble, but they're saying Johnson was down the 10-yard line. It's a loss of 3. That time that move did not help him.
Saw that he took a peek in the hole, saw 3 Cheyney defenders. Said, I don't want any part of that. Tried to cut it outside. But Cheyney did a nice job of pursuing and running him down.
I don't care if it didn't help him or not. That was a heck of a move.
Oh, yeah.
That was tremendous. 3rd and 4 from the 10. Slant, touchdown. Derek Jones, who's been hurt for a good portion of the latter half of the season, makes the touchdown reception, his 5th of the year. Josh Portis with 3 on the day, giving him 28. And he is climbing up the ladder of all-time touchdown pass leaders in Cal history. And remember, he came here as a transfer. He did not have all 4 years to do that. DeMontis for the extra point. And it is good. 7:40 to play in the half. Cal ups their advantage to 24-0. We'll be back with the kickoff right after this. It's Cal Vulcan Football 2010. Nice. Simply text the word Vulcan stuff to 94253 to get videos, wallpapers, photos, and an opportunity to enter yourself for prizes from the Cal U Vulcan football program. You know what? See Derek Jones. I'm sorry, go ahead, Wolf.
I was just going to say, you know what, Stan? I was watching the Cal U cheerleaders. They got some arm on them there. You see them doing those T-shirt throws. If you hang Paul out of that upper deck, he could probably snag one. You don't need no T-shirt cannon to fire one up there. Those girls got an arm.
If Stan's willing to dangle me by my legs, I'll do it.
Well, there's a line of people up here who want to hang Paul. Crowell and Newman back deep. This is Crowell at his 15. Ball opens up to the 40, 45, and out to the 48-yard line. That's as close to midfield as Cheyney has gotten. And you get the feeling it's going to take a play like that for them to be able to score while the game is still a contest. Only twice this year, by the way, has Cheyney scored more than 24 points in a game.
Just a nice return. This kid can run, by the way.
Now, that's what you call a touch of freelancing. You know, and he made the most of it. That's a good job by the young man.
And, Wolf, by the way, why are you watching the cheerleaders?
You know, I got to tell you, I have to say the cheerleaders just amazed me with their arm strength.
Okay.
He thought they were throwing chili dogs up there this one. Pitch wide to Newman. Into Cal territory. Good run and a flag, and Cal's going to get hit for a horse collar, face mask, or just unnecessary roughness.
I mean, it did happen outside the boundary, but it happened kind of quick. It wasn't late.
Campbell threw him to the ground late. He was already out of bounds, and that's going to move it from the 39 to the 24. Second first down of the game for the Cheyney Wolves.
One thing you notice about Tommy
Face
Campbell
pass,
when you see him up
15
close
yards, tacked on to the end of the run. First down, number 2.
is the fact that he is a real stud. I mean, he is an excellent athlete, and you see him up close. That's a pretty good-sized corner.
Yeah, he's good size and can run.
That is just the second first down of the game. Tack on 15. Ball moves to the 24-yard line for Cheyney. Bro, hit in the backfield and drop for
There's
a
my
big
guy.
line. There he is. Rontez Miles smelled that all the way. And Cal is not, some teams that play against a wishbone will play a read and react game. And that's the way they want to play it. String it out. Cal's coming right after him.
You can see it. Rontez Miles, he sees that motion coming across. He comes down, drops it from the box to the end of the line. He meets Lonnell Wilson right there, and that is one slobber knocker of a hit. Lonnell got to his knees, and he just motioned to the trainers, come get me, because I ain't going to make it.
Rontez, a sophomore from Woodland Hills, where he played for George Novak. All right, the last touchdown pass to Derek Jones from Josh Portis. A scoring drive for Cal, big pass underneath. Our Morgan coach scoring drive, 9 plays, 60 yards, took nearly 5 minutes. Portis to Jones, it's a 10-yard touchdown pass, and Josh Portis with his 3rd touchdown pass of the game.
And that's a couple times now when they try to get around the edge. The Rontez Miles, just an absolute perfect position. Start of the 4th quarter, Mercyhurst leading Bloom 42-24, but Bloom has made a bit of a comeback. I'm not sure if they have enough time to get all the way back, but right now Mercyhurst hold on. Kutztown leading Gannon 27-3.
Kutztown will make the playoffs. There you see Crowell getting up. I'm sorry, Lonnell Wilson. Wolf, you're right. By the way,
At that point, Stan, Lonnell would probably tell you, I'll answer at anything. Just get me off the field.
You might think he's Crowell. All right, this is the way it looks. Bloomsburg, they will drop a notch. Touchdown winning. Mercyhurst with a win. Cal will probably move up, and if they get to the 3rd and 4th slot in the rankings, most likely, again, nothing's for sure, most likely they would get
Cheyney, that's their
a
3rd
first
final
round
timeout of the half.
home game next weekend as the Division II playoffs begin. There you see Cheyney has taken a timeout. That is their last timeout. They have none remaining here in the first half. That's the way it works, and the committee will meet tomorrow. I guess we should know tomorrow night.
It is beach-like here at Cal U today, and
Mineral Beach.
What a beautiful day. This is getting toward the middle of November, is it not?
Well, you know, gentlemen, I must say, I think I'm the good luck charm now. I've only been out here 3 times this year, able to watch Cal U football and do it from the sidelines, and the sun has followed me.
You make it brighter wherever you go, Wolf. You always have.
You're just not buying it, are you?
No, well, you're looking at you were looking at John Luckhart. He is tied for 17th in career victories, all categories. And of course, this comes up because of Joe Paterno winning number 400 last week. Lucky is 17th with 214 wins going into today. He's tied with Nevada's Chris Ault, the head coach out at Nevada. Lucky's only 4 behind Mac Brown, who's having a down season at Texas. So you're talking about guys like Mac Brown, and John Luckhart is in that category.
A tremendous coach, tremendous man.
He is the best.
Anderson throws, incomplete.
Wow.
Looking for Prince Stewart.
Are you
2
sure?
receivers, and Evan Madden. Aaron Madden was in the vicinity, 2 receivers. Prince Stewart is their leading receiver, has got a catch earlier today, but the pass falls incomplete. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 16.
And look what Lucky has done since he's come here, completely turned the program around. And right now, I mean, they are just on such an upward trend. If it were a stock, you're buying.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good idea, Paul.
Well, they're a national player. When people around the country think Division II, you look at their preseason rankings, Anderson in big trouble. He's going to be sacked all the way back at the 37. That'll take him out of field goal range if indeed that was a possibility anyway. It brings up 4th and very long yardage to go. 22. Let's see him. Head coach Jeff Braxton in his 3rd year at Cheyney. Might as well go for it at this point. His record in his 3rd year, 1-31. Their one win this year was against Millersville, and that snapped a 32-game losing streak for Cheyney. Now they're going to punt. Cannon. Trey Johnson calls for the fair catch and takes it at the 15-yard line where Cal will start over. 1st and 10, leading 24-0.
And that selection show tomorrow, Stan, ESPN News at 3 o'clock. So you can actually tune in and check out where Cal is seated and where they're headed. They would obviously love a home playoff game. I'm not sure how much the Mercyhurst, if they hold on to win, how much that juggles that up, but that's not the ideal situation. Bloomsburg would have made things better. But you can't count on other people. Mercyhurst, to their credit, found a way to win, so you deal with what you deal with.
I'm sure that the Vulcans would be itching to get another crack at Mercyhurst.
I don't think they'd mind that a bit.
1st and 10 from the 15. Trey Johnson finds a crease. Runs laterally. Wasn't able to cut it up. Strong defensive play by Maurice Jones, a freshman.
That was a nice tackle.
Yeah, it was.
That was a nice tackle, but I also enjoyed watching Danny Jordan. Left guard pulls out. He comes up, the guy crosses his face, gives him a bump, then he turns up and bangs another guy. He's a twofer. You love when you can be a twofer because as an offensive lineman, that's your moment to shine. Not take just one, get me 2.
So you bump, then you bang.
There you go.
I like it.
2nd down and 8. Straight drop. Pass complete for a 1st down. Moore with the 1st down. Run out of bounds across the 30 to the 32-yard line. Buchanan and Stewart on the tackle. It's like Hank Stram said in that Super Bowl film. Like stealing, boys. That out pattern. More people don't use it. It's almost indefensible because if the corner comes up, you're just setting yourself up for an out and out.
And now keep in mind, with Cherry and Moore, and you re-add Derek Jones to that mix, I mean, pick your poison. That is some unbelievable speed on the outside.
If Cal can solidify their offensive line and give Portis the time he needs and continue to run the ball well. Johnson on the loose. Fumbles late, ball goes out of bounds, but not before he picks up big yardage from the 32-yard line all the way to the Cheyney 43. 18-25 yards. Stan Banks ran him out of bounds.
Trey's going to have to get a little more careful with securing the football. That's 2 times now. That actually came loose. Neither fumble has resulted in a turnover, but that ball is getting knocked out of his hands, and that's not good. He did get it to the outside hand.
Yeah, it was a good job doing that.
It still got popped out.
But what I like
high and tight, Wolf.
Exactly, but what I like that was textbook 7-man blocking sled technique across the board.
Portis wide open over the middle. Williamson, he does not hang on to the football.
Oh, that was a great throw. And pretty good defense to break that up.
Blake Williamson, tight end, really coming on lately.
That guy is jacked. I'm telling you, you get close up to a Blake Williamson. I mean, he is a big, thick guy, and when you watch him run block, he really comes off the ball in a nice, what we used to call the tripod. That'd be both hands and the forehead, and lifting, rolling over that lead foot, and then rolling his hips through. He does a great job. And here on that pass pattern, he had the ball right there. That was a perfect throw and pretty good coverage, but it was right there, and I know Williamson liked to have that one back.
Stan Banks made a great defensive play, shaken up on the play. Now up and off the field under his own power.
Senior from Wilmington, Delaware, 3 picks on the year. Blake, by the way, is a sophomore only from right up the road, Chartiers, Houston, has 16 catches, and the bulk of those have come within the last few games. And Wolf mentioned the 7-man sled. I hated that 7-man sled with a passion. And back in the day, they would cover the wood, but the fabric was about as thick as a pillowcase. Yeah. And it hurt banging your forearm into that.
I'll have to tell you about my first experience with a 7-man sled.
We weren't allowed to hold. You couldn't use your hands. Delay screen. Trey Johnson makes a move. Gets the 40 and takes a big hit. Again, gets to the 39-yard line. And that'll bring up a 3rd down and 5. Brandon Buchanan, number 8, senior from Fort Myers, Florida, made the stop.
Watch him finish him off here. Nice little dump off. And, boy, this guy's electric, but he's not a big guy. So when you're going to do all those spins, you're going to get hit like that occasionally.
You leave yourself vulnerable. You leave yourself open, Paul, when you turn and spin like that. That's a great point for a small-bodied guy. There's not a lot of area to cover up that ball with. I mean, you just don't have that mass. So when he spins, it can be a violent spin with a violent hit coming at the end of it.
35. Portis under a rush. Hit as he throws, and it's intercepted by Stewart. The ball waffled as Portis was hit as he threw, and the interception by Stewart, Thomas Stewart, his 2nd pick of the year. We already told you he's the leading tackler, and the first turnover of the day for the Cal Vulcans, and Cheyney will take over 1st and 10.
That was Tim Hume that came free on the left side, and he really got a good hit on Josh Portis just as he let the ball go, and that resulted in the interception. Not sure who the man down is for Cal.
Not all that surprising with Hume. He had 8.5 sacks coming into the game. One of the leading sackers in the PSAC. Trying to tell who the injured player is, but being covered by the medical personnel.
Yeah, whoever it was in some serious pain there for a little bit. But I couldn't tell, couldn't get the number.
I guess, Wolf, when you've got interception like that and you quickly turn from offense to defense and they begin to run the interception back, you're really vulnerable to somebody coming the other way and giving you that blindside block.
Oh, no question about it, Stan. It's like the inmates taking over the asylum. You got to keep your head on a swivel. And that's, okay, we got our man back up. And he's standing. But yeah, it is a dangerous time. I think that was Eric Cush.
Eric Cush.
Yeah. Boy, they need this young man to, if they're going to have hopes of going deep into a playoff run, they need him to be an able-bodied contributor.
Eric is a junior from Char Valley. And when he was out with a shoulder injury, it wasn't only the loss of his excellence, but it forced John Luckhart to jumble the entire domino effect.
Right, it always
Guys
does.
were out of position, and the results were fairly obvious, and equally obvious was the impact he had when he got back to the lineup and healthy enough to play.
Well, if you think Eric Cush is a stony-headed, young, brawny guy, and I say that, of course, affectionately, stoneheads are part of what I've always been all my life. You should see his old man. He's a big old guy.
Fake on the pitch, wide open is crawling right through, Linnell Wilson, right through his hands. Linnell Wilson, wide open as a slot back. That pass was there. Freshman from Waldorf, Maryland, drops the ball. Good throw by Anderson.
That was a good throw, but a tough catch. That over-the-shoulder catch, not easy. Simply not able to bring it in.
Yeah, I know Paul knows this story. One time during practice at Three Rivers, I was jumped in the line where the wide receivers run down the sidelines and the quarterbacks throw the ball, looping it high. You know, they're warming up their arms, and I jumped in and Bradshaw threw one, and I reached over like that, trying to make over-the-shoulder catch, dunked right off my helmet.
Hand off inside to Jones. It's good yardage up to the 45-yard line. We have a 3rd down and 3. Well, I can top you on that one. I once caught a bullet pass from Terry Bradshaw.
Did you?
I did. Memorial Day used to be the mini camp, and it was always Memorial Day. They would only bring in the draft choices, the free agents, and some injured people. And they had a pass line, and they were short. And they made the assistant coaches run through the drills, which didn't make George Perlis too terribly happy. I'll finish the story in a minute. 3rd and 3, inside handoff to Jones. He struggles for a yard, but he'll be short. It'll be 4th and 2. So all the coaches, Woody Wittenhaffer and all those guys were complaining, and it was very hot that day.
California.
Cal calls timeout. They want the ball back with 1:48 to play in the half. And a bunch of reporters were there, and I was laughing because they were complaining about having to run all the drills, and it was hot on that turf at Three Rivers. And Perlis said to me, he said, "What are you laughing at?" I said, "Have a lot of fun, George." And he said, "Why don't you come out here?" And I said, "I will if they let me." So they went over and asked Chuck Knoll, and he said, "Okay." So I ran the locker room. They gave me, turf shoes and shorts and a shirt, and I got in the pass line, scared to death.
Oh, my.
And I was in line behind George, and it was Cliff Stout, I forget who the 3rd quarterback was, and Bradshaw. So
hand ready?
No, it was
Kruzak had to be.
Yeah, Kruzak, exactly.
Okay.
That's who it was. You're right.
Mike Kruzak.
So I'm in line behind George, and George is up for when Bradshaw is supposed to throw, and I was going to get Kruzak because they just continue rotating. As soon as George got to the front of the line, he ducked out and he ran to the back of the line, and there I was, Terry Bradshaw.
And then he saw you.
He saw me, and then they were running button hooks.
Oh.
And he had to do curl 10 yards and turn around, and he absolutely just wound up and fired a Nolan Ryan at me, and I'm proud to say that I caught it.
Did it knock you down?
Well, no, I stood up. Wolf, I was not going down. And the only reason here's a 4th and 2.
I think they got it.
And it's going to be close. I'm sorry to let the football game get in the way of my story. But anyway, the point of the ball hit me in the chest, and I held on, and all the media guys were screaming. One of the slugs did something, and I looked down at my arm, and from my right wrist to inside my right elbow, there was not a bruise, a cut. The laces, because of the spiral, came in and sliced my arm open. I mean, it was thin. But I was so proud of myself, you know what I mean? And Bradshaw had this maniacal look on his face, like I tried to kill him, but I didn't.
Well, see, the whole point was, Stan, Bradshaw threw that, and it wasn't you catching it. It just embedded itself in your chest.
Exactly, no question. It was like that punt at Heinz Field a couple years ago against Miami.
Oh, yeah.
Right. It just
Into the turf,
ball.
the plug.
The same thing with my chest.
Ouch.
Well, at least you caught it.
I did.
That's all that matters.
I was a hero. I actually wrote a commentary about that and won a Golden Quill Award for that story.
And you're a cult hero, huh?
That's right.
Nah, there you go. It's all about Stan.
And 30 years later, I had to have heart surgery because they had to remove that football. They get the first down and 10.
A little jet action.
Linnell Wilson's got a lot of room. And they'll rule his knee touchdown at the 43-yard line. The clock running. And remember, Cheyney is out of timeouts.
Now, one of the things I'm feeling, I'm standing down here on the sidelines, this would be bothersome to me if I'm lucky. I'm feeling, okay, we're up 24-0. All right, we've taken this lead. But you know what? I'm not seeing a lot of spark. I'm not seeing a lot of intensity. That's what I want to see from my guys right now.
And again, a big hole up the middle. Good for a first down to the 38-yard line. And Cal has had some second-string guys in there. It's not an excuse. As someone once says, the standard is the standard.
I wonder who that guy is. Sounds pretty wise.
First and 10 from the 39-yard line. No timeouts for Cheyney. Anderson looking, firing for Stewart, and he catches it. Flag down on the play.
Clear push-off.
It looks like it is coming back.
Yeah. But they would have signaled touchdown otherwise.
Yep.
That was just perfect coverage. The only way he was going to make that catch is by pushing off. And sure enough, that's the call.
Prince Stewart, the receiver.
Prince of a guy.
Double coverage for the Cal Vulcans.
And it was blanket coverage.
Ooh.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, man.
Abdullah really nailed Anderson.
Abdullah the Butcher.
I remember him.
Oh, yeah. Great wrestler back in the day.
I remember him.
Blatant push, and it'll come back.
Eric Harris was one of the Cal defenders back deep. That'll move it all the way back to the 46-yard line.
Along with Kyle Crane, I believe. I think Crane's the guy that got pushed.
Yes, you are correct, Paul.
Thanks, Will.
The inside handoff. He's not going anywhere.
Miles, he's just unbelievable.
Well, his penetration. Brett Diamond, of course, there. The penetration just destroys a running play. You cannot do anything if you give up that kind of penetration in your own backfield.
I love watching Rontez Miles play. You are so correct, Paul. You know, he comes out, he's got the he looks like a pit bull chasing after a porterhouse. Love watching him come.
He has played an outstanding game. He's an outstanding 2 seasons.
Wilson over the middle. Sean Anderson laid him out.
Oh, that's just hanging your receiver out right there.
Boy, Linnell
Lofted
Wilson
over
had
the
a tough
middle.
Saturday afternoon, hadn't he?
Yes, he has.
Oh, you're not kidding. You got to cover two, splitting that zone or splitting the seam between the safety and the corner. You know it's coming. The hammer's going to be dropped, and Sean Anderson did a whale of a job coming across.
Sean is a junior from Penn Hills. He's got 4 interceptions on the year.
Better hope Roger Goodell's not in the house. I'll just leave it at that.
We'll have to take up a collection.
If I'm Linnell Wilson, I go back to huddle and slap Anderson.
How much money can you get for pumpkin gobs? Sell something to the boys.
Belly.
Inside handoff. Jones with a wide open field. The 25, the 20, to the 15. He gets out of bounds with a 1.5 seconds remaining in the half, and that'll give Cheyney one more play. Anderson ran him out of bounds, but Cal was playing pass, obviously, on 2nd and 30, and a huge run.
I want to give Jones a whole lot of credit there. He looked up, saw the amount of time, knew he wasn't going to get into the end zone, got out of bounds to give his team at least one chance to maybe get it into the end zone. What a heads-up play.
What a great
See him look up?
Yep. He looked up, but at that point, I almost thought, you got no choice. He's got to go. He's got to go for the end zone. But that may be the answer, Paul. One more shot at it.
All right, no field goal attempt here. They're going to go for the touchdown. Anderson, he's hit before he could get into his drop. Again, is Lukman Abdullah with the sack. Abdullah, his 2nd sack of the year, and the first half will end on that note.
Abdullah's been unblockable here in this 2nd quarter. He's coming on every play.
Butcher indeed. Cal with a lead of 24-0, working on their 2nd consecutive shutout. Cal 24, Cheyney 0. We'll be back with our halftime activities right after this. Stadium on the campus of California. Blue Mountain Equipment Rental. MI Friday. The Pittsburgh Bottle Shop Cafe. And by California University of Pennsylvania. Welcome back to Adamson Stadium on the campus of California University of Pennsylvania in California, PA. Stan Savran along with Paul Alexander and Craig Wolfley. The Vulcans leading 24-0 at half, going pretty much as expected. On the very first series, Cal blocking and going on a drive, a touchdown pass to Chedrick Cherry to give Cal a quick 7-0 lead. On the next possession, a punt led to a field goal, and then it is Portis, this time hitting Terrence Moore. That good for the touchdown to make it 17-0. This time it's Derek Jones. 3 touchdown passes for Josh Portis to 3 different Cal receivers. And that is the scoring. And here's the non-scoring by Cheyney, as Cal now has thrown 6 consecutive quarters of shutout ball, with the shutout at Edinburgh last week by a score of 24-0. The difference here is that last week they led just 3-0 at the half before pitching that shutout in the 2nd half and the game. And the stats a little bit inflated for Cheyney. Most of their yardage and first downs came in a late drive, which had them deep in Cal territory, but they failed with time running out on the first half clock. Cal pretty much doing whatever they want, 244 total yards. Time of possession not all that great in the disparity, Paul, but the reason is Cal has struck very quickly.
Yeah, when you score quickly, that's the way it's going to go. And you're not worried about how many times to get the ball or for how long they have it. You're keeping them out of the end zone. You're keeping them off the scoreboard. Right now, Cal just has to be efficient. They have to get it done. And then I think you have to get some guys into the game. Get that depth a little time. They work hard in practice as well. Give those backups a little time.
Josh Portis, 11 of 18. He did throw the 1 interception, 3 touchdown passes. Trey Johnson, 68 yards rushing. Lamont Smith, 43. The halftime meal is over, which means that Craig Wolfley.
Hello, fellas.
He's
yes.
back now from the training table.
Yes, well, a good athlete has to keep his energy up. So I always like to
Yeah, but what do you do?
Corner. Well, yeah. You begin to sound like a guy named Ilkin.
I know. That's where I got my cues.
Yes, indeed. Well, anyhow, we watched them warm up here, and they came back to the sidelines that did the KLU, and there was a lot of, a little bit of heat, and I think that Lucky took them to task here at halftime. He's saying, hey, look, we're up 24-0, but you guys haven't shown me what I want to see. We've had some mogination going down the stretch here, but we hiccuped a couple weeks ago. Last week, we were slow starting. Let's get a fast start here because there are bigger fish to fry. Let's fry this fish right up and get it done right now.
All right, John Newman, number 1, is back deep, along with Stan Banks, who came off injured, the safety, but he's okay. Back to receive the second-off kickoff from Mark DeMoncas, who's had a big game, perfect on extra points, and kicked the field goal. This is Banks from his 10. Being chased down by Stevens, and he beats the tackler to the 40, 45, into Cal territory at the 49-yard line. So for the second consecutive return, Cheyney with an outstanding kickoff return, giving them good field position in Cal territory. The tackle finally made by the kicker, Mark DeMoncas. You don't want that.
No, your kicker making tackles, that's not a good sign. But this is one of the many things that head coaches kind of like, something to work on as they go into next week in the playoffs. Cal U and that kick coverage team will have plenty to work on because those 2 last returns don't sit well with coaches.
Let me just say, fellas, that was not a good gauge of John Luckhart coming out here and laying it to his boys at halftime. That's not a good response.
This is John Newman. Big hole on the right side. Newman to the 30, 25, 20. Still on his feet to the 15, and finally brought down from behind the 14-yard line. The tackle finally made by Brett Diamond, but not before he picks up 38 yards and a first down at the 14-yard line. And one of the things that John Norris, the secondary coach, telling us, they've got athletes, and if they gash you, they've got good speed in the secondary. They don't do it consistently, but they can create a big play, and Paul, that's exactly what they've done.
Yeah, they get an open space, they can go. There's no question. We saw that on the last 2 kickoff returns. And now this Cal U defense better stiffen up, and they did.
The handoff inside to the tailback. Leading rusher Marcus Jones. Crawford with the tackle. Gain of a yard, second down.
Kevin Crawford.
Yeah, I'd say that was a way to stiffen up right there. Kevin Crawford is a very studly dude who will put the wood to you. And this is what they need right now. Hey, to come out, give credit, Cheyney credit. They're down 24-0. They're not playing for any postseason. They're playing for the here and now, and they came out, got a good kickoff return, then a good run.
Madden, number 4, in the slot.
Jet.
Newman.
Go figure, who made that play?
Rontez.
That's funny, Paul, because I'm standing on the near sideline. That's across the field. I can't see the number, but you know what? All I had to do was hear your voice, and you knew who it was.
I have been so impressed, and it started last year. I mean, this is not like a coming on of late story. Rontez Miles came to Cal ready to play and just gets better and better each and every week.
And he earned his spot on the field from scrimmage by being an absolute demon on special teams. He did it the hard way. He earned it, as someone once said. And John Housen, 3rd down and 10 on the draw. And good for, well, close to a first down.
I think he got
it. They may need a measurement here on Marcus Jones. And there are some holes being opened by that front from the Cheyney Wolves. It's marked at the 4, pretty much where he had to get to. It is a first down.
And, Wolf, this is not a time when a team really has to dig deep. You know you're already in the playoffs. You come out, you basically score at will. You want this game to be over. You got to find some way to suck it up.
That's exactly it, Paul, and that's what I know John Luckhart was addressing at halftime. You've got to cycle up the amps in your head. You've got to get the voltage going because you have to play this game, as Chuck Noll always used to say, with enthusiasm, not emotion. Enthusiasm self-generated. It's dependable. Emotion waves up and down, not reliable.
First and goal from the 4. Inside handoff. The tailback Jones gets a couple to the 2. It'll be second down and goal from the 2. Wolf, it's interesting. You know, you talk about motivation. Obviously, you want to do well. You want to do well for your teammates. But how much of it is, you know, that, as my coach used to say, the eye don't lie. And you're going to have to sit in there in the film room and have Chuck Noll screaming at you. So, in all seriousness, how much of a motivating factor is that?
You know, I truthfully can say that once the game started, it's not something that really got in your gourd, other than sometimes during a break in the action after a particularly bad play or series of plays, you sit there and go, ooh, that's going to look bad on Tuesday.
Newman in motion. Here's Jones. Oh, is he hit at the line of scrimmage. Hit hard and driven back. A loss of a yard and a half on the play. Brett Diamond, Kevin Crawford, totally controlling the line of scrimmage. Now that brings up a 3rd and goal.
When you imagine this is 4 down territory anyhow, they have to come up with 2 stops here.
Oh, Cheyney would hope it's 5 down. You know. But I'll say this. Now, that was some pads popping. That was a great clip from the guys, getting a little bit of the sound, the volume, because that's what was missing in the first several plays of this half. Almost a sleepwalk start for Cal U. Now you want to hear some of that popping because they got to get their amps going here.
I was a bit surprised that Cheyney did not attempt a field goal at the end of the half. Now, they may have issues with their kicker. Their kicker, Kevin Wilkinson, is only 2 out of 6, and so maybe head coach Jeff Braxton didn't trust him to kick it. But you do that, you score here, all of a sudden it's a 2-touchdown game. Newman, motion, pitch wide, needs a block, gets one, into the end zone, touchdown, Cheyney. So on the opening drive of the second half, after an excellent kickoff return to the 49-yard line, Cheyney finishes up and did what they could not do in the first half, score a touchdown and make it 24-6.
Well, what you had was a nice job of sealing the inside and getting the Cheyney runner on the outside. And that, of course, was Johnny Newman. Johnny Newman gets out there, and it's one-on-one. You get the corner backed up, and you got a wide receiver rolling at your ankles. Freezes him long enough for Newman to get north-south and dive into the end zone.
And it was Linnell Wilson who threw that block on the corner.
And they go short side because there's fewer people to block.
Michael Evans will attempt the extra point. 0 for 1 on the season. Snaps a bit high. Boy, a line drive and no good. Now you know why they didn't go for the field goal. Opening drive of the second half. Cheyney scores a touchdown. 10:55 to play in the third. Cal leading 24-6. We're back with the kickoff right after this. Shirt and a $50 gift certificate to Loggerheads. Today's fan of the game is Mickey Washashak. Congratulations, Mickey. We had a nice conversation before the ball game. Good guy, very loyal Vulcan fan.
Was he tailgating with you there at the infamous Mayfield, Ohio tailgate?
No, he's not part of that Mayfield mafia. But you know what? I got the Piccirillos, I got the Ficarises, and I got the Santillas. Nobody's going to mess with me.
No, you're safe there.
Yep.
Short kick. Cody Wilson with a good return. Second return of the game for Cody. He gets it across the 50 and into Cheyney territory at the 46. And so the Vulcans start out in good field position at the 46-yard line, leading 24-6.
And you would think this offense feels it needs to respond. I mean, I think that was kind of a shock to the system there that Cheyney went right down and scored with the opening drive of the half. I would feel right now this Cal U offense, the Vulcans feel incumbent upon them to put together a nice drive.
Not only that, they feel a burden to do so, huh?
I would think.
I'll tell you what else they might be feeling. By the way, Trey Johnson is back in at tailback, and we haven't seen Lamont Smith for quite some time. Well, maybe you can see if you can spot him on the sideline, see if he's okay. or they're just getting Trey some work.
He's working right there, Stan.
I take it back. He's had a terrific game thus far. He had 68 yards in the first half. That 19 right there will give him 87. First down for Cal. And I would imagine, too, the defense, I mean, kids want to play, but certainly the seniors, they wouldn't mind making it an early afternoon. Well, after giving up a touchdown, I don't think they're coming out too quickly.
No, you kind of see Lamont's kind of lobbying, I think, a little bit. I think he'd like to be in there. I think he's fine.
Well, Trey hasn't had a lot of experience at tailback, and he's going to be facing some really good teams coming up in the playoffs. Here he goes again. On a trap up the middle, he gets 11 yards to give him 98. That puts him at the 20-yard line, first down and 10.
And Wolf, if 4 yards on first down is a victory, what's a first down on first down?
Oh, that's an overwhelming victory.
Okay.
That's what you like. You like those overwhelming victories on first down.
That's sort of the equivalent of double secret probation. First and 10 from the 20. Cal trying to answer the lone Cheyney touchdown of the game. I formation, motion near side. Ray Johnson again. This time he's caught from the backside for perhaps a yard gain. That's a good close. Nose tackle Fines, and also Frank Lyburn, the left defensive end, a junior from Philadelphia, on the tackle. Gain is a yard, second down and 9.
The official word I got, Stan, is that they're just holding Lamont Smith out.
Okay.
Give him a little bit of rest.
Not a bad thing.
No, he's had almost, 225, 250 carries?
Yeah. He's not a big guy physically. Second and 9. Portis looking, throwing, caught by Cherry. Nice move inside the 10 and down near the 8-yard line to 7, and it is a first down. Needed the 10, got the 7, pass complete to Chedrick Cherry. Brandon Buchanan, safety and punter, making the stop.
I'd say he's a little better safety than he is a punter.
There's no question about that.
Although he did have the only punt I've ever seen go straight up in the air and come straight down.
Well, your former quarterback, and tell him about that night in Dallas. He might lie, but I remember. I was there.
I'm going to tell him.
First and goal, just inside the 8-yard line. Stretch. Johnson.
Oh,
there's a big hit coming up there. Gain of 3 to the 5-yard line. It'll be second and goal. The Clearview Federal Credit Union sponsors a field goal kicking contest during the week of all home football games. The winners will receive a $50 Visa gift card from our good friends at the Clearview Federal Credit Union. This week's winner, Chad Reinhardt. Way to go, Chad.
And keep in mind, if you're very impressive in that contest, there's a good chance you can make it as a walk-on here at Cal U. It's happened before.
Second and goal from the 5. Portis short drop, fade, end zone, incomplete. Buchanan again in a hand fight for the ball. Does a good job on the coverage. Pass a little bit short. It'll bring up a third down and goal.
What a nice job by Brandon Buchanan of getting inside position and then being able to high point and get up on Terrence Moore, because Terrence Moore can jump.
Yes, he can.
I mean, he has got some elevators there, and he gets up in the air, and Buchanan gets that hand and wrestles the ball out. Otherwise, that's a quick 6 right there.
That was just a good fight for the ball. Both guys had it for a moment.
Draw. Cheyney smelled it all the way. You could hear the shouts. They saw that right away, and Johnson never had a chance on the play, and that'll bring on the field goal unit. Cal player is down. Byron Void, by the way, number 39, was the first man, and it's Jack Range who is limping off, number 78.
He's coming to balance, so.
Yeah, it's getting better every step he takes. He gets a little more comfortable with putting weight on that left leg. Certainly hope he's okay.
Yeah, you know, you get a little bit of a hitch in your get along there if somebody falls on you. That's one of the biggest problems you have as an offensive lineman. You always got some other guy falling on top of you.
DeMoncus, 1 for 1 on the day, 11 for 15 in field goal attempts this year. This will be a 22-yarder angle to the right. Kick is up, and it is good. So Cal answers the Cheyney touchdown drive with a field goal with 7:22 to go in the third. Cal ups their lead to 21. The Vulcans 27, the Wolves 6. We'll be back with the kickoff right after this.
Can anyone belong to Clearview Federal?
California University of Pennsylvania football is brought to you by Clearview Federal Credit Union, by Heater Direct, the Wheeling Nailers, JRMC Diagnostic Services, First Niagara Bank, DPS Penn, T.A. Nelson Bus Lines, and by Charleroi Federal Savings Bank.
Well, fellas, in a turn of, I've been watching the Vulcan hit that steel chunk down there.
We thought he's barely getting up to his shoulder now.
You know what? He's
Kent Tekulve.
Well,
he's got a Tekulve motion going.
Well, it's not even that, Stan. He's swinging the sledge the way Judge Judy taps her gavel. Okay, it's not getting much height.
Oh, that's not good.
Oh, no, Judge Judy. A rare Judge Judy reference in a football broadcast.
Fair catch on a kickoff. You don't see that every day.
No. You
but number
get
4,
a free
Adam.
kick here. Adam Madden, senior from Washington, D.C., makes the fair catch. And so Cheyney will take over at its own 30-yard line. Washington County Tourism invites you to play, shop, rediscover history, and, of course, sleep here. Go to visitwashingtoncountypa.com to decide what are you going to do here.
I should have slept here last night. Did a high school game at Cannon Mac
last
night.
Didn't.
Went home, came back. I could have slept here. I know, Matt Leckard offered. I have a good friend, Andrew Barnes, who lives in Cannonsburg. He offered. I just didn't plan.
I'm not too far from here either. I did not offer. Oh, nice play. Boy, is Lukman Abdullah having himself a big
really
game.
Is.
Terrific. The senior from Brooklyn, New York. Terrific penetration here. Number 95.
Since early in the second quarter, Wolf, he has been unblockable.
Yeah, he has. Abdullah the Butcher there made himself lean, hitting that A-gap. Now, I don't know if you can really say lean. It's more like pounding a square peg into a round hole. But he made it, and he's been doing a great job of just getting penetration. When you have a large prairie mammal such as the Abdullah there getting into gaps, it's going to blow up a lot of blocking schemes, and he's doing a great job at it.
Well, he is the backup to Thomas Malaba, who is nursing an ankle problem. So once again, why not get him out of there and get ready for what's about to transpire beginning next week, meaning the Division II playoffs. There you see the running back, Marcus Jones. He's just a freshman out of Washington, D.C., averaging 99 a game. He had the one big run near the end of the first half, which inflated his totals a little bit. But clearly, Cheyney's not been able to get their running game going, and that's pretty much what they do with their option game.
Read your key. Hands high, baby, high.
Boys, we got to make a correction here. Department of Corrections, that was Mrs. Santia that provided the legendary pumpkin gobs. Zooks. I got that all backwards.
Eric Harris blitzing from his outside linebacker position. Anderson never had a chance. Just blew up the play. Drops the ball all the way back to the 22-yard line, 4th and 18.
Well, if nothing like a corner fire from the blind side.
No, that was beautifully done by Harris. And, the thing is, sometimes if you're a quarterback, you don't scope it and you're not seeing that corner fire from there. And a lot of times he'll edge it, tip it off, but Harris didn't really tip it off too much. And the fact is, he got there, got home. I'm more worried, fellas, about the fact that I gave credit to Mrs. Ficaris when it was Mrs. Santia. I don't want to lose those pumpkin gobs.
Oh, look at the snap way over the head of the punter, Buchanan. He does a smart thing and just throws it out of bounds for a safety. Before we get too far away from it, I wanted to give credit to my homeboy, Sam Ficaris, on the Harris sack because his pressure up the middle left no escape route for Anderson, who's got good feet. Oh, boy. Well, that's a smart play by Buchanan. So the safety will have the free kick. 5:06 to play. It's now Cal 29 and Cheyney 6.
We're leaving in 30 seconds.
Welcome to Washington County, Pennsylvania. I played.
Find out what's possible when you can get the information you need without interrupting your call. Talk and surf the web at the same time on the nation's fastest mobile broadband network, AT&T. Rethink possible.
Stan, you do that in your sleep, that whole talking and surfing at the same time.
Absolutely.
I didn't know you were a surfer, dude.
Well, I'm more drowning than surfing when it comes to that stuff. All right, Jeff Braxton, head coach of Cheyney, has a decision to make. He's elected to let Brandon Buchanan punt as opposed to a placement kick. Ched Cherry at his 42. It opens up, 40, 35, and down near the 30-yard line. So the free kick gives Cal the ball in great shape at the 31-yard line, leading 29-7.
Well, I can say now we have the answer as to why Cheyney didn't go for a field goal in the first half. It's right there. When you punt on a kickoff, it's obvious you have problems with your with the kick and the extra points, field goals, everything like that. So
most teams do go for the punt because of the hang time. But we've already seen that Cheyney has some issues with their punting game.
Which
well,
tells
even the one he
more.
did kick, you have to give him credit. The one he kicked straight up had decent hang time.
On the play fake, throwing deep, man, wide open, touchdown! Chedrick Cherry, his second touchdown of the game. Josh Portis now with 4 touchdown passes on the afternoon. That one for 31. Didn't take long to take advantage of the safety.
Now that was, as you said before, stealing right there. That was beautiful. That was almost too easy.
DeMarcus will go for the extra point. Remember, this Cheyney team, the last 5 games, has given up an average of 54 points. Placement is up and good. So, one play, 31 yards for the touchdown. Chedrick Cherry's second catch of the game. Cal extends their lead to 36-6. Good protection. And the corner, Carl Meeks, beaten badly on the play. No chance there. And with that touchdown pass, Josh Portis has moved into second place on Cal's all-time touchdown pass list. Last week, he passed former coach Jeff Petrucci, and with that touchdown pass there, he passes Sam Mannery, moving into second place on the all-time touchdown pass leaders in Cal U history. He is the only quarterback to pass for 25 touchdowns or more twice in his career. Last season, he set the single-season yardage mark with 3,421 passing yards and 36 touchdown passes. With the 4 today, he now has 29, and with a run in the playoffs, Paul, he could extend that. So Josh Portis, and remember now, he's not a 4-year player. He's been here 2 years.
It's amazing.
Tremendous career, and he's a better quarterback for having worked under and with offensive coordinator Walt Harris.
Think about it, 90 seasons of Cal U football. 90 seasons have been played. 2 years, and you're at number 2. Wow.
Yep.
Here's an area they need to shore up, and they got to cover this kick.
Stan Banks, and they shore. That's called being shored. Coming up to make the tackle for the Vulcans, Dylan Voss.
Well, that looked a whole lot better than what the last 2 kickoff coverage teams looked like. And Dylan Voss, as Wolf would say, laid the wood.
And Chase DiCarlo in on the tackle as well, one of the tight ends for the Vulcans.
Fellas, I got bad news. Big old Jack Range is laid up on the table, all wrapped up, got his knee wrapped up. So I think he's done for the day.
I just hope it is for only the day.
Yeah. It's no time to be losing parts here as you're getting ready to ramp up for the playoffs.
Anderson looking deep. Coverage, help over the top, incomplete. That's a good job of defending by Kyle Crane. Kyle's got an interception this year. He had safety help over the top, but he played that one individually. Nice job.
Yeah, despite they don't throw it very much, well, if the kid can uncork it, that was a beautiful throw right on the money. If it weren't for Crane's step-for-step coverage, that could have been a big play.
Oh, no question about it. That was a finely thrown ball by Anderson, and it was only the fact that Kyle Crane was up to the task of knocking that ball away that it was incomplete. That pass was spot on, but Crane was equal to the task.
Adam Madden, number 4, flanked to the near side. Here's the inside hand. There's a fumble. Jacobs fumbles, and Cheyney has recovered. The play will actually gain a yard to the 31-yard line. That's the 3rd fumble of the game for Cheyney, and remarkably, they've recovered all 3. The offensive tackle, Dave Richmond, made the recovery.
The reason why was the butcher, Lukman Abdullah, come shot in the gap and got a hold of Anderson with one big old paw and had hold of the leg. Now Anderson's trying to, hand the ball off on a dive and can't do it because he's being held with one leg. He can't one-leg it out of there. That was a nice play.
Largely the first-team defense is in there, although Steve Santia is in for Sam Fakaris at one of the tackle positions. Pitch wide to Newman, looking to get the corner, does a good job to get there, but is well short of the first down across the 35-36. That'll bring up a 4th down and 4, and presumably another Cheyney punt. Steve Santee in the game, that give you another chance, Wolf, to apologize to his mother. I guess he's not going to do it. Just like Wolf. Wow, eat and run. Well, the offense is staying in the game, so they're going to go for it here on 4th. Why not?
Yeah, at this point,
it's 36-6. 4th down and 4. Linnell Wilson is the wingback. Keeper by Anderson, pitch to Wilson. He's hit in the backfield and dropped for a loss. What a game Rontez Miles has played. Didn't get fooled by the fake. He obviously had the pitch back and makes the tackle.
I bet you this guy played some basketball in his time. That's called a hedge and recover. He actually faked at the quarterback to force the pitch and then made the play and went right to it. Let's go to Craig Wolfley with a very special guest.
Well, thank you, guys. I'm down here on the sidelines with KLU President Dr. Angelo Armeni. And, Doc, what a beautiful day on Senior Day. This has got to be just how you planned it.
Of course, I would have been responsible for rain if it had come, too, so I'll take it.
Now, on a day like today, you're celebrating your seniors. How special is that both to you and to the students?
I think it's special to everyone here. We love our seniors. It was great to see their families here. We let them know that they're always welcome here, that they'll always be part of this program, even after they graduate. So we're very proud of them.
Now, Doc, as you overlook
this behind
season,
you, Wolf. We just had a touchdown. Chedrick Cherry. Yeah, one play. Maybe Dr. Armeni, you can comment on this. One strike. Josh Portis' 5th touchdown pass of the day, and Chedrick Cherry's 3rd catch of the day for a score.
Paul, that's amazing. And of course, I had my back turned to the field. I didn't see it.
He's that good. And here's the problem: if he gives you a good breakdown, then he's going to fire me. See?
So I could tell by the crowd, though, that something good happened.
Well, don't feel bad, Dr. Armeni. We talk about things that we didn't see either. We just.
Now, let me continue here. Doctor, as you look over this past season, you've had a tremendous run of success here with John Luckhart. How has this season unfolded as you evaluate things?
Well, you know, we got off to a great start and ran into a very, very tough Mercyhurst team up on their field. Had a lot of injuries. We're coming back from that. So if this game continues as it is, we should end up 10-1, and we'll find out tomorrow if where the rest of our season will take us. So we're very proud of these young people and our coaching staff. It's been an awesome season.
Doctor, does it ever get old to have success like this? I mean, when you look at 90 seasons of Cal U football, does it ever get old? Not that you were here for all 90, by the way.
Well, I've only been here for 19 seasons, but I'll tell you, it does not get old because IUP beat us 20 years in a row before I got here, and I saw 14 of those losses. So winning is very, very nice, and you have to savor it while you have it.
What are you going to do for the selection committee deal when that unfolds? Where will you be? How does that come down?
Well, tomorrow afternoon, as you know, the NCAA will put on that program to let the various teams know what the seedings are and who's going to play whom. We'll find out tomorrow afternoon, and we'll be delighted no matter where we end up.
Now, last thing I want to, well, I got two questions, but second to last, what has success meant to this university?
Our athletic success has been absolutely huge because you become known, especially among young people, by your athletic success. And it's been a tremendous asset to our entire university family as a result.
Doctor, before I let you go, I look around, I see the facilities, I see the overhead, the new wave cam and everything else. What's in store for the Cal U football team and the student body at large? Anything new?
Well, I believe our football facility is about as good as it's going to get. We have other things happening on the campus in terms of academic programs and so on. But we hope to keep the buzz going. We're very fortunate with the success we've had. We'd like to keep it going as long as we can.
Well, I will say this, I appreciate the time with you. Anytime I normally meet with the head of a school, it had to do with either academic issues or disciplinary. So it's great to see you, Doc.
Great to see you. Take care, Wolf.
Back to you guys.
Thanks.
All right, thank you, Wolf. I got to believe there's a whole lot of truth in that statement.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dr. Armeni, for your graciousness and welcoming the three of us and our entire broadcast crew each and every week, always making you feel welcome. The thing I like about it, Paul, is that when you see a Cal game, Dr. Armeni, yeah, he has a box and he entertains people, but he's wearing a Cal sweatsuit and he walks the sideline up and down. And I don't care, it's a great day today, but I've been down the sideline with him during the playoffs in late November, and it's cold, and he's out there. Anderson, is he in trouble? Fake the handoff to the tailback. And then he takes a hit and loses 5 back to the 21-yard line. Marcus Cook with the stop. And Sam Ficaris back in with a good push up front.
Well, the problem comes when, if you're the dive back and you go for the dive and you're faking it, the problem is that when your offensive line is backed up into your face, there's no dive to fake anybody out. You know, I mean, he ran headstrong, did right then the back, Linnell, ran into Brandon Reed, his own offensive lineman, who you need one of those beeping warners when you're going backwards like that. It's dangerous.
Anderson a play fake, short drop over the middle, pass tipped in the middle by Anthony Roberts and goes incomplete to bring up 3rd down and 15.
Stan, you know, one of the things I always appreciate about Dr. Armeni, when you visit with him, you can understand why he's so successful. Very personable, a real strong leader, but you've had your own personal connection with him concerning health issues, haven't you?
Yeah, after I had my bypass surgery, maybe a couple weeks out, I was home, and it's a difficult recovery. And Dr. Armeni was on a trip way up into the northeast portion of the state. On his way home, he gave me a call. And he went through the same procedure about 7-8 years ago. And he told me about some of the things to look for. And I said, well, I feel this. He said, that's normal. Don't worry about it. And it was just so inside handoff, short of the first down flag, late flag, is thrown, probably a hold of some kind or another. But it was so comforting to hear from someone who'd actually been through it. Doctors will tell you, but unless you've experienced it, you really don't know what to expect. And frankly, Wolf, all kinds of things run through your mind. Every ache or pain, you think something's gone wrong. I thought that perhaps one of the bypasses had come loose, and he just kind of talked me through it. And from that point on, the recovery, while still difficult, at least I understood what I was experiencing and what to expect. And he called me again a week later, how you doing? And just shared some of his experiences. I can't tell you how valuable that was to me. I'll never forget. And I'll never be able to thank him enough for that.
You know, the healing process is speeded up by a personal touch, and I think it's that personal touch that really stands out about Dr. Armeni concerning the student body at large, the entire school, and the athletic department. He really puts his own stamp on it.
And the amazing thing in this era of free agency, that Cal's been able to keep him. That's the amazing part.
Yeah.
And that's because he wants to stay.
Yeah.
That,
Good
to me,
point.
is the amazing part.
Now, he's one of the cutting-edge presidents of the university system here in this Commonwealth. Well, that thing is, that's a line drive. Trey Johnson, look out. The 25-20, he's gone. Trey Johnson with the punt return for a touchdown. You give your coverage unit no chance whatsoever. That kick was never more than 6 feet off the ground.
No, that would not have been detected by radar. That was so low.
Not only that, oh, I'm sorry, Sam, but not only that, when you're returning it and you can return it and you've got Kyle Crane using hand signals to wave Trey, come this way, Trey, come here, come here, come here. And I mean, that tells you got a well-skilled return team out there.
No, by the way, he can run.
Oh, yes, he can run.
Wow. 50-yard punt return. The kicking game has played an important part in this route for Cal as they tried at the half-century mark. And the kick is up and good. Still a minute 32 to play in the third quarter. Anybody ever hear of a running clock? Cal now upping their lead to 50-6. It was 24-0 at the half. Cal has turned it on here in the third quarter. And I would imagine we're going to begin to see a lot of substitutions. I'm surprised we haven't at this point.
Okay, now the difficult task goes to the Vulcan with that sledgehammer, fellas.
Tony Battolini with a key block that helps spring him. Terrence Moore, who's got a touchdown pass to his credit today, also with a block on the return unit. Trey Johnson has rushed for near 100. Now has a 50-yard punt return on his resume. So Cal will up their record to 10-1. And Cheyney will drop to 1-10.
And here comes the Vulcan. 50 bang.
He's got a good over-the-shoulder working there, but he's only got through one touchdown.
No. That was the start, Sam. Stan, okay? That was the start of the whole thing.
Have you picked up that sledgehammer? How heavy is that thing?
It only looks like an 8 or 10 pounder to me. I got a 30 pounder in my gym.
You got hoagies that weigh more than that.
Let me tell you, I'll choke it full up on that hoagie too, my friend. It's getting lower. Can't you just hear Judge Judy going, order, order in the court?
Well, you know, in fairness to Cheyney, they have trouble recruiting football players. To think that they're going to be able to recruit specialists.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's why
exactly.
They don't have the luxury of going out and recruiting a place kicker just to be a place kicker or a punter just to be a punter. They're looking for football players. Monkas has got to be fairly fatigued at this point. Kicks the ball to Newman. This has probably been the best part of Cheyney's game. Cuts inside Harris. Got a blocker ahead.
Flag.
To the 45-50. Thank you, Paul. Flag down. Run out of bounds by Swearinger, but a flag well up the field sitting at the 28-yard line. And we can all guess what that's all about.
Boy, he is one dangerous return guy.
Yeah. He is a senior from Wilmington, Delaware, averaging 5.5 yards per carry. And he also came into the game as one of their leading receivers with 16 catches out of the backfield.
This is about, what, the second or third good return we've seen Cheyney come up with?
Yeah, third one that they've really turned into a very big, substantial game.
Of course, he had a little help on that one.
Oh, what's a little holding amongst friends?
Oh, spoken like a true offensive lineman.
Check those ankles, bro.
If you're not holding, you're not trying.
Yeah, if you don't have to scrape cloth off one of your fingernails after the game's over, you haven't had a very good day.
Oh.
Head coach John Luckhart on his way to his 78th win in 8 seasons here at Cal. That's a nice round figure of nearly 10 per season. Anderson on the keep, gets a couple to the 18, 19-yard line. Welcome the newest concept to the Atrius family, Juniper Grill. Juniper Grill offers a delicious fusion of American and Southwest entrees. Stop in and enjoy our slow-roasted boneless short ribs, pork tatas, or our slow-smoked all-natural Angus beef brisket. Designed from the basic elements, Juniper Grill is surrounded by wood, fire, and stone. With 3 high-definition TVs, Juniper Grill's bar is the perfect place to view all of your favorite sporting events. Visit them online at www.junipergrill.com or call 724-260-7999. Running play to the near side.
I wish I had time today to go to Juniper's, Atrius, and the Bottle Shop.
Down.
I'm probably not going to make it to any of them, but I would like to go to all 3.
You know, for as surprisingly trim as you are, Paul, you do put away some chow. I
can hang with you, admit it.
I have enjoyed the fact that whenever we've had the chance to grub together, you have held your own.
Well, explain to me the reverse. I don't eat anything, and I'm a tub. How does that work out?
You need to eat. Your body's telling, because you don't eat anything, your body says it has to preserve anything instead of burning anything.
That's what I think. Look at the word diet. Take away the T. What do you got in the first 3 letters?
That's the old scale line. One at a time, please. Short gain to the 31-yard line, and we've reached the end of the third quarter. All right, we head to the final 15 minutes of the regular season. Cal in control, to say the least, leading 50-6. Back with the fourth quarter right after this. California University of Pennsylvania football is brought to you by Centra Bank, Washington County Tourism, Morgan Coach and Tours, the Washington Hospital, Northwest Savings Bank, Progress, and by State Farm Insurance. As we begin the fourth quarter of play, Cheyney with the football. 1st and 10 from their own 31-yard line. Let's see if we see some of the backups. Number 1, well, Rontez Miles still in there. Tommy Campbell is still in there. Tommy, a full-time player now with Mike Brown, unfortunately, having his season end because of an Achilles injury. Pass over the middle, incomplete and almost intercepted. Sean Anderson had his hands on the football, looking for his 5th interception of the year. Upset with himself that he didn't bring that one down. Tommy Campbell dove for it as well. Incomplete, 2nd down and 10.
Just looking at the athletes they have in that secondary, I mean, that's just incredible. And Rontez Miles, if you wanted to take 5 plays he made today to show a corner or a defensive back how to play the position, it would be like a textbook. It would be like a how-to.
Anderson, the quarterback, 1 out of 10 for 6 yards. In the secondary, once again, it is Marcus Jones. He's getting good yardage and a 1st down to the 46. Now remember that in college football, passing yardage, it gets reduced based on sacks. That is considered passing yardage, not running yardage. So the one pass he completed to Stewart was actually good for 8 yards, and he fumbled for a 1st down. Suffice to say that the passing game has not been good enough to offset somewhat of an inability to run, which is the staple of their offense. Anderson hit, fumble. 4th fumble of the day for Cheyney, and for the 4th time out of 4. Cheyney has recovered at their own 40, but it's a loss of 6.
And this is just jailbreak time. I mean, here come the Vulcans.
And Sam Fikaris teaming up. B.J. Stevens also in on the play.
And he's really worked his way into getting more and more playing time. It had been
they're calling it an incomplete pass.
A very strong contributor. Yeah, the ball comes back to the line of scrimmage.
Lost count of how many sacks the Vulcans have today.
A bunch.
2nd and 10.
Oh, jeez.
Just, you could hear that up here, and the windows are closed in our booth. That's about as tough a 3 yards as you'll ever pick up.
And we should always know when you hear that sound, that type of hit, it's Terrence Hemsley.
Terrence saw an awful lot more playing time a year ago, but so many guys have stepped up. And one of the reasons Cal switched, there are 2 reasons Cal switched to the 4-2-5 late last year. Number one, Paul, they had so much talent in the secondary.
Right.
Get more guys and playmakers on the field, but also, John Lockhart told me before the season started, everywhere we went, we saw a spread.
Right.
Especially in the playoffs. He said, we're going to defend against the spread.
Have to this day.
Fumble on the pitch. Newman falls on it, but loses yardage, 6 yards back to the 44-yard line to bring up 3rd down and long. Make it 4th down and long.
25, Trey, 25.
Well, Brandon Buchanan has had himself a very busy afternoon, the punter. So has Trey Johnson. The last punt by Buchanan was a line drive, which Johnson took to the house. A 50-yard punt return.
Well, it beats a straight up and down punt.
well,
they didn't return that one, though, Wolf.
Yeah, that
So maybe
only
not.
ended up in a field goal. Maybe that should be the strategy.
Remember, the hang time was good.
That's right. That at least is a spiral. Johnson calls and takes the fair catch at the 30-yard line. 12:38 to play in this ball game. Cal in command. The Vulcans 50, the Cheyney Wolf 6. Creates all of their delicious entrees from scratch using only the freshest, highest quality ingredients. Think of Atria's for your holiday party. Their new private dining room can seat up to 60 guests with a private bar. Atria's gift cards make the perfect gift for any holiday. Stop in during November and receive a certificate for a bottle of wine and $20 in Atria's money when you purchase $100 in Atria's gift cards. Restrictions apply. Visit www.atrias.com or call Atrias in Peters Township at 724-942-1108 for details. That's my neck of the woods. I've been there many times. It is so good, and the best thing about it, it's good every single time that you go. Ryan Morris now in a quarterback. So Josh Portis, his day is done. I think 5 touchdown passes. He's earned a rest, don't you think?
I think his arm's a little tight.
Well, I'll say this, we have new shirts all over the place out there. And it's good for these young guys to get in here and get some game time.
Second unit offensive line in the ball game. Josh Gumbert, number 88 in at wide receiver. Chet Welk is the tight end. Jordan Scott, the ball carrier. And their player of the game today is Josh Portis. 5 touchdown passes, moving into second place on the all-time Cal list. 3 of those touchdown passes, Paul, to Chet Cherry.
Yeah, he was just outstanding. Let's give his offensive line a lot of credit before Wolf jumps in and starts talking about how great they did. But they did. They gave him a lot of time all day. And this guy, it's been fun to watch him just progress the way he has over the last 2 years. He is really an outstanding player.
You know what, Paul? You are so right. Yeah, everybody should go out and hug a hog today because fat guys need love too. Come on.
Josh was 14 to 22, 5 touchdown passes. He was picked once. Ryan Morris dumps it off to Scott. Good presence. Who saw a lot of playing time earlier in the season before they discovered Lamont Smith was going to be their starting tailback. Ryan Morris, junior from Westchester, Ohio. That's his 8th pass of the year. Completed 6 1 touchdowns. One touchdown, no interceptions. And Josh Portis is a candidate for the Harlan Hill Award, which goes to the Heisman Trophy of Division II. Let's call it that. And Harlan Hill, for those who don't remember, unfortunately I do, was a great player for the Chicago Bears. for years. He was a receiver. They didn't call him tight ends back then, but he was a great player, and that's who the award is named after. Person said, oh, well, some measure of revenge that time for Cheyney. It was Thomas Stewart again, their leading tackler, number 15. He's had a very nice game. Very strong hit there. Scott loses 3 to the 39. Second down and 13 as we come down to 10 minutes in the game. By the way, let's not forget Ched Cherry. 6 catches, 3 of them for touchdowns, 105 yards receiving.
Well, we knew who was caddying better to Josh Portis this week, don't we?
Yeah. You can see Ryan Morris doing the right thing, breaking the huddle late, bringing the team to the line of scrimmage, now with 5 seconds left on the play clock, milking it as much as possible. Morris hit and sacked. Back at the 31-yard line. Good penetration by Hume. We talked about him a little bit earlier. That's his second sack today. Tim Hume, a junior from Harrisburg. He now has 10.5 sacks on the season. Pretty good.
Yeah, it is.
Sack per game.
You're at that number.
Morris getting the sign from the sideline. Of course, the plays are called by Walt Harris, who is up here in the press box in the booth right next to us. It's funny, he never asks us for advice.
He does not. He always says hello, but it's very nice.
He does. Scott pulled down from behind. Short gain out to the 34-yard line. And that'll put Cal into a punting situation.
I think it's kind of going along the lines with Chuck Noll. He never asked my advice either on any given play. As Chuck was wont to say, this is not a democracy.
Yeah.
All right, you don't get a vote in this thing.
I remember the day they released Scott Campbell, and I was down there covering the Steelers, and I said, why'd you cut him? And he gave me an answer. I had a follow-up because I wasn't.
You always do, don't you?
Yeah, I do. And he looked at me with those blue eyes and said, you want a debate? No, Chuck, I don't. And I backed out of there in a real hurry.
He nailed you in your mind.
Yes, he did. Boy, big kick by Fiorenza.
Who has it?
Newman is still running backwards. What a kick by Derek Fiorenza.
He killed it.
8:03 to play in this football game. Cal on their way to their 10th win of the season. They lead 50-6. Last week, Cal U allowed only 79 yards total against Edinboro in a shutout. Not quite as good this week. They've given up a touchdown, but only 118 yards total offense. Paul, special teams, defense dominated today's game.
They've been outstanding. It's been a get-after kind of game. Give Cheyney credit. They came out to start that second half with a scoring drive, a couple of big plays, but other than that, Cal U has been suffocating defensively. And Rontez Miles is like my new hero.
He's been a defensive player of the game, although Abdullah had himself a big game. Both inside down linemen, Vaqueris and Santia had big games.
Brett Diamond
always having a big game. Eric Harris, very active.
Yes.
I got a nice end zone view behind Cheyney here, and you watch the Cal U defense line up. And Lukman Abdallah is so big he can 3-gap a 2-gap. I'm telling you.
Big number 95. He's a senior from Princeton, New Jersey. Second down. Again, Newman with a good run to the outside, but he pays a price for it.
What does Hemsley hit? I mean, he is a violent hitter.
Yeah, you notice that. It's always like a bowl full of Captain Crunch wherever he arrives.
His hits make a different sound.
I think that's called velocity coming in on it. And you're right, Paul.
And Jeff Parrish, number 27, also there to deliver a pop.
But you watch Hemsley, he always seems to be delivering a blow and doing it with great force.
The run is good for a first down, however. And the football is near the 20-yard line.
Yeah, let's not forget the main purpose. Stopping them from getting that first down.
Stoppage of play. Timeout. Cheyney, why? I have no.
Because they have them.
idea.
I would imagine it's because they have them.
All right, around the region, and this impacts what Cal does. Wow. Mercyhurst beats Bloomsburg 56-37. That was expected to be a much closer game. So Mercyhurst will get a home game. And Kutztown ekes it out. They were up big at half. They win by 3.
They were up at 1 point.
Kutztown beats Gannon. Glenville State, this is a huge upset. Shepherd was ranked #1 in the region going in. And the game at Shepherd, what an upset that is. And that will shuffle the rankings. And when that happens, Cal figures to move up, Paul.
I guess they did it for Rich Rodriguez, Glenville State. They rallied for him.
So Cal, we're giving them this one.
Yeah, we have.
Moving up to 10-1. Mercyhurst has 2 losses, but again, the head-to-head issue, they did beat Cal. But of that group, Cal actually has the best record.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Tomorrow, 3 o'clock on ESPN News, you'll find out where Cal's headed.
That's the 5th fumble.
Yeah, they haven't lost any.
Haven't lost any. So there's some positive note for Cheyney, I suppose, if that's considered a positive.
You guys would make great head coaches, because there you go. After getting shellacked, you go into the post-game locker room and say, men, here's the good news, here's the bad news. The bad news is we fumbled 5 times. But the good news is we got all 5 of them back.
Didn't lose a single one.
By the way, the quarterback is a new man, James Ramsey, number 14, a freshman out of Norristown, PA, which is near the Philadelphia area. And for those who don't know, Cheyney is located in the city of Philadelphia.
The alma mater of Ed Bradley, the late, great 60 Minutes reporter.
Yep.
And one of my favorite people, John Cheyney, the outstanding former head basketball coach at Cheyney and at Temple.
He was an entertaining character, wasn't he?
That day he wanted to kill John Calipari. It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. And if they would have let him loose, John Calipari wouldn't be with us today.
Calipari, I remember seeing an interview that he did after that. He was scared.
Yes, he was.
And he's from Moon Township. He's a tough guy.
Yeah. Not that kind of toughness. John Cheyney brought incredible toughness.
3rd down, a bit more than 3 for the 1st down. Left-handed quarterback. Intercepted. Still on his feet and gone for the touchdown. Eric Livesey.
Gateway zone.
Eric Livesey intercepting the pass from Ramsey right into his mitts. He returns it 20-plus yards for the touchdown. And I mentioned Cheyney giving up an average of 54 points per game the last 5. That average is going up.
Well, that's what you got underneath extreme pressure. You got James Ramsey rolling out, and he just lofted that ball. There was really no Cheyney receiver in the area, and it was just simply a matter of getting rid of the ball.
Mark DeMoncos with the extra point. 5:18 to play in this football game. The outcome decided long ago. Cal 57, Cheyney 6. And an opportunity to enter yourself for prizes from the Cal U Vulcan football program. There you see Josh Portis, the senior quarterback. Final regular season game of his 2-year career, but there will be more football to be played. How much more? Well, that is the answer to the question. Enough practice on kickoffs.
Yeah.
Boy, Newman is going to be one large bruise by the time he gets back to Philadelphia. He's a tough little running back. This, of course, will be our final telecast of the year. And we want to thank all the people who were involved in putting this on. Jim Archberger, Frank Bauer, Director Mike Hendlick, John Humphrey, our technical manager. I suppose we have to thank Richard Sutphin, our producer. I say that in jest. Greg Sparks, Tim Schrock, Greg Cooper, Rick Worth. They better get to Foster pretty soon.
Yeah, they better.
There's our boy Jerry Shad, who's in charge of replays. Tom Thomas on graphics. T-squared, as they like to call him.
That got something to do with Matt.
Run up the middle. No, well, actually it does, but
they do such a great job
they
each and
really
every
do.
week.
They make
really
it
do.
so easy for us. And if there's a mess up, you can bet it's up to the camera guys.
There he is. Booth manager.
Mr. Foster. You should put Mr. Foster up there. Waved to the home folk.
Yeah.
Thanks to all you guys.
Johnny Foster runs a tight booth, doesn't he?
Oh,
he does.
He'll smack you right upside your head if you get out of line.
He absolutely got me sitting down during a commercial break and said, get that headset back on, get up there. Beth Conway, who's part of the SID staff here, is the wife of Mike Conway, the defensive coordinator. And also, I want to give my personal thanks, Paul, to Matt Kiefer, who's the sports information director here at Cal. These telecasts, he gets us all the information we need. He's not to be blamed for what we do with it.
Right.
But he gets it to us.
He at least gives us the opportunity to screw it up.
Well, I just want to take a moment and thank all the guys that make Cookie's Corner possible down in the equipment room. All the good people that get the sausages and meatballs going on down there. That's
Frank
a lot of
Bauer's
fun.
wife's sausage is to die for.
It's exquisite.
I was driving here today. That's all I could think of.
I didn't eat any breakfast. I knew
I didn't either, Wolf. I couldn't wait to get here. My wife's going, don't you want something? I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm fine.
Well, that's because Wolf never stopped eating dinner. One kind of dovetails into the other.
Oh.
Yeah, differentiating between one to the other does become problematic at times.
Who has the better food, at the high school games or the Cal U games?
Oh, the Cal U. It's
Cal U. Here's the thing.
the high schools do well, Wolf. We
yes,
have to
they
admit
do.
that.
But you don't know exactly which school. You know, when you go there, you're not sure. But at Cal U, at Cookie's Corner, and then in the training room. Oh, yeah. I don't know if you've ever been there, Paul.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they got some top shelf stuff here.
It's unbelievable.
Ramsey. And the pitch fly.
Ooh. Man.
Newman takes it again. What a tough guy.
Guess who was involved there?
Wouldn't have been.
I heard it. I didn't see it. I heard it. It was
Hemsley.
Hemsley. He's like a missile out there.
You know what? He runs to contact. That's
and then
a good
goes
sign.
through contact.
Yes, that's a good sign of a defensive player. The ability to be able to run to contact. A lot of guys run to the contact area. Not everybody is one of those, when I get there, I'm going to always get in on it. Hemsley's one of them. Terrence Hemsley, one of the outstanding performers.
Well, of course, Cal will move on to continue to play. This will be the end of the season for Cheyney. And you know, you start camp in the middle of August. It's an awfully long season. For
especially when you're not winning games. Boy, that's tough.
1-10.
Oh, my.
The handoff wasn't clean, crisp, or whatever. That hadn't been a major factor.
That's the human
Fullback
pumpkin
Burrow.
gob right there, Steve Santilla. You got to get a look at that because
he was held, too.
Yeah. Not very well, I'll say that.
He was held, but not very well.
Well, there's a difference between holding poorly and holding well.
Yeah. Now, the really, and Wolf, you'll attest to this, the really held well is when you don't even get called for it.
There's Walt. Maybe he's having a pumpkin gob. That's Walt Harris, Cal offensive coordinator, talking to Terrence Moore. And Walt, of course, head coach at Pitt, and also Stanford, down the sideline. I can call the plays from this point on.
So what would your call be here, Stan?
Take a knee. Anybody running out of bounds is going to be taken to the shed.
Take a knee is the next offensive play call.
3rd and 12, take a knee.
You know, the only time I remember taking a knee not being a good was back when we had that bitter time with the Houston Oilers in the mid to late 80s with Jerry Glanville. Taking a knee usually means, you know, just relax. You didn't relax with those rascals.
No, I thought Chuck Noll was going to beat up Jerry Glanville.
Yeah. Yeah, so did a number of us.
In a heartbeat.
Pitch back to Prince Stewart. It's a flea flicker. Pass is tipped away at the last second. Very nice play. Might have been out of bounds anyway.
Tony Whiteleather.
Very nice play by Tony Whiteleather.
Very nice to see someone time up their jump perfectly and get to the highest point when the ball gets there. I hate when guys don't jump at the right time, and I'm sure they hate it too. But
he's a Rochester guy.
Yeah, Paul, I think I agree with you there.
Tony's a Rochester guy.
Yes, he is.
Is he? Yep.
I've done a few of his high school games.
His brother, or maybe a cousin, Brent Whiteleather.
I think it's his brother.
Both played. There you see Tony.
Frank Bauer, of course, a Rochester guy.
Yeah.
Still pays very close attention. We're probably headed to another Rochester-Clareton single-A WPIAL championship game.
4th and 7 and a whistle.
Timeout, Cheyney.
Timeout. Apparently, the head coach is paid by the hour.
Yeah, that would seem so, doesn't it, fellas? Now, why would you call a timeout with 1 minute to go, down 57-6?
I also imagine he has no interest in watching the Penn State-Ohio State game.
Right. He might be a Michigan grad.
Yeah, probably.
That could be so.
Well, while we have the opportunity, Wolf, what do you think about tomorrow night at Heinz Field?
Looking forward to it. You know, I think this New England Patriots team is not your daddy's New England Patriots. Of course, we are the dads of that time period. So the fact is, you look at their defense, and they do not have the same people that used to scare you.
Yep.
The Rodney Harrisons, you know, the Seymours, you got the Brewskis, the Teddy Johnsons, and so forth, you know. It's still a defense that is quite capable, but really it comes all down to Tom Brady and what he can do. Tom Brady is still Tom Brady, and that's in anybody's book, even without a Randy Moss, that's pretty good.
You're right, Wolf. And that New England defense, by the way, giving up 400 yards per game.
They got to make the most of that.
Oh, my. Friendly fire.
Wilson, again, penetration. You can't go anywhere with that kind of penetration. Steve Santia in on the play. That was a 4th down and long. And
now,
so
Stan, you get to call these plays.
Walt.
Well, think about this, fellas. Just think how bad that play would have looked if they had not called timeout. Got things straight out.
Yeah, it's a good thing they called timeout to set that thing up.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a long ride back for the Cheyney team.
Yeah.
It's a long ride back anyway, all the way to Philadelphia, about 6 hours.
About 4.5, probably. Well, then again, I drive a little differently than
You make Philadelphia in 4.5 hours?
4.5. Yeah, it's true. I'm not driving a bus, as Richard Sutton yells into my ear.
If I'm involved, you're not driving at all.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not.
If you can go to Philly.
And I'm not going to Philly, period.
See that? They enacted one of my plays, the first one this year.
Yes, and it worked quite well.
One more, and the Vulcans officially will be 10-1 on their way to the NCAA Division II playoffs.
I think
they've won or shared.
Lucky got a little bath over there.
Did he?
Yes, he did. I saw the ice come down. Yeah, he got a little something.
The one he would like would be at the national championship game. Lucky walking to the middle of the field. That is Mike Conway, the defensive coordinator, with him. And complete and total domination. Cal scoring on the first 3 drives, leading 17-0, building to 24-0 at the half. The game never in doubt. So from what you've seen this year, and especially the last 3 weeks or month, is Cal well positioned, Wolf, to get to where they want to go?
Yeah, I really do believe so. I think that they've got a chance to ring the bell this year. They got all it takes.
All right, Wolf, thanks. It was a great pleasure, Paul, as always. Terrific
Stan
job.
absolutely loved every second of it. You know that.
Thank you,
All
fellas.
Right. Cal wins the game 57-6. Thanks for watching Cal Vulcan Football 2010. The Vulcan 57, Cheyney 6.